Oh, okay.
Podcast is live. Every single time we're like startled. We're like, oh my God, we're on the air.
Well, that's because on the other one, it's like 3, 2, 1.
We get a countdown. All right. Yeah. So we're here, guys.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Making fetch happen.
Yeah, making fetch happen. So our episode this week is called, go ahead, Vanessa.
Eclipse Moon Catching Fire.
So if you get that, you're big nerds like us. We're both huge Twilight fans, and we're not like embarrassed about it. Like, we actually sat online together for, I think, at least 4 of the movies. Shamelessly, we stood online with a bunch of teenagers, drunk as skunks, waiting to watch Twilight. So yeah, the first half is a Twilight reference, but there is an eclipse moon happening right now, which I didn't bother to look at.
Well, I mean, it's just getting dark, so I feel like we'll have plenty of time to go check it out later. I don't know what time the eclipse part is, though.
I don't think it's until later, but either way, I feel like the air is filled with so much pollution right now by me that we're not going to really even be able to see it. But the second reference is a Hunger Games reference, because that's like what we're all living in right now. It's like the fucking Hunger Games, except for, I don't know, I feel like it's the Hunger Games and Game of Thrones, like all mixed into like one situation, but you couldn't write fiction this crazy.
That's the truth. I mean, I know nothing about the Hunger Games. Nothing.
It's brilliant. It's very good. It's basically, what if the government took over? They make people participate in these games that are to the death while everybody watches. So
yeah, see, that's probably why I didn't watch it, because I'm like, I feel like I'm too sensitive to watch something like this. I would freak out the entire time.
It's brilliant. Yeah, it's sad, but it's brilliantly written, the books anyway. They did a shit job with the final 2 movies. They did what Twilight did. They broke it like in half, and I feel like they did a complete shit job in the breaking up of the 3rd book. Like, I don't know why they didn't just all put it into one, or why they broke it up the way that they did, but Hollywood, trying to get their, like, you know, bang for their buck, they wanted to break it up into 2 things and did a shit job doing it. But anyway, so first, let's talk about what we're drinking really fast, because we decided we were going to talk about our drinks first.
Yeah, I like that. I like this little, like, hey guys, here's what we're drinking. I mean, you're not always going to get a nice drink. Sometimes it's going to be like,
well, I almost didn't mix a drink. My backup is not a mixed drink, because I didn't want to have to get up halfway through, because inevitably I'm going to chug this before the broadcast is done. So yeah, the first drink I have is a mixed drink. I went to Stu Leonard's for the first time, by the way.
Okay.
Not allowed in there anymore. Like a complete fucking Looney Tunes out there. Like, I was like, I want everything. And a lot of things are super expensive. Yep. But the alcohol, if you know what your prices are, and you know, like, something isn't that different, like, there are things that I know that I don't see around here. And then there are things that, like, you know, you see all the time that are $3 or $4 more than they are at, like, the liquor store. So you don't buy those things. You buy the things that you don't see all the time. I got Plush Plum vodka. There's a company that I think is actually like Jersey owned called Figenza that I absolutely love their vodka. Like a
Figenza.
This reminds me a lot of that, except for it's $15 cheaper. So I went for this, but it's delicious. I'm mixing it with pineapple juice. I was just telling you, I wanted to also mix it with seltzer, but when I was trying to stake out money for the ATM, there were a group of 6 men surrounding me as I was going to take out money, to the point that the owner of the store came out and told them all to take a hike. But I was like, fuck this. I'm not entering my PIN in front of these people. I'm not doing any of this. Like, I literally said to the guy, because you know me, I'm shameless. I like literally looked at the guy and was like, excuse me, because he was like right next to me, didn't even fucking move. I'm like,
wow.
You know, you're making me uncomfortable. Like, I'm going to enter my PIN. Aside from that, I don't like people that close to me in the middle of a pandemic. So if you can back off, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just mixing with pineapple juice. I'll let you know. I'll report next week on how it is with pineapple and club. It's a little sweet. It's a little sweet with just pineapple. Then I have backup. How pretty is this can?
Oh,
it's rosé cider. It kind of feels like you would expect it to, except for it's dry and not sweet. Very good. Also Stu Leonard's weight, so can't focus. Yeah, 1911 rosé. It's really good. So it's gluten-free. You can enjoy it as well. And what are you drinking? This gluten-free.
I am drinking some in my Blanche Funko cup.
Yes. Look, it's more on a cup.
Yeah. I went over to the bar area and was like, what's over here? Because in my refrigerator, there's like grape juice and lemonade. So I took some Tito's, put some lemonade in there, threw a little dash of orange liqueur, and
what was it, Grand Marnier? Or something like fake Grand Marnier?
Cheaper. Yeah.
I'm all about it. I'm all about that life.
Yeah, so it's pretty, I mean, it's pretty good. We'll see what happens.
I'm sure you'll be drunk in the next 45 minutes. We're drinking straight vodka out of cups. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So,
you know, I barely eaten because that's what my life was today.
Yeah, I had some salad and chicken, you know, very absorbent for all the booze I'm about to consume.
Yeah. I feel like today was just that day. Like I just couldn't do anything. I was like, I had two clients canceled, and I was actually grateful for it because it was just like, these people are going to get a half their me. I'm just not here right now. So I was lucky.
It's all right. Now the baby's in bed. It's time for us to, I know you're mentally exhausted. I'm sure you're mentally exhausted.
I really am, but
I know you deserve to be mentally. I mean, you're a therapist and you take on everybody else's shit. So of course you're mentally exhausted. You turn on this TV and there's not anything pleasant that you're going to see. You open social media and you have somebody like me screaming at you.
Or, you know, my friends that I fight with, or my friends that I'm like, I don't want to fight with them. So I'm just going to not say anything, even though I really want to say all the things, but I just don't.
That's the hardest part is walking away. Like when you see something, the hardest part is like walking away because you know you're about to have an argument with an idiot. Sometimes you're in the mood for it and you just don't care and you want to fucking like trigger they call us snowflakes. I mean, really.
Yeah. That's the truth.
Yeah. They call us snowflakes. I'm also over here is like pushing all of the fucking buttons like sometimes. And there are some days where I'm just like, I know you're an idiot. I can't deal with you. I'm going to scroll right past you. I cannot deal. So
yeah. Yeah. And sometimes it's like, you know, like I feel guilty about it, especially right now, because I feel like now's not the time to be quiet, but I'm just like, my mental health is like way more important right now. And it makes me feel like there's probably a lot of people that have a lot of good things to say that feel the same way because we're the ones feeling this right now. The people who have like a really closed mind don't feel like we feel. They're not energy drained because of like, you know, feeling this. So it's almost like they have all the power because they're on their power trip and we're like, well,
it's just like, how could you be so fucking dumb? Like that's what I find myself. Like I find myself saying things and going, I shouldn't have to explain this, but here I am. Here I am explaining things. Yeah. So I'm going to my first Black Lives Matter protest on Sunday. A friend of mine, I won't say her name, but because she doesn't like her name all over social media, unlike me. Friend of mine. Say my name. I was making like informative posters at like 3 a.m. this morning because I'm a crazy person. I'm looking for the information. So this Sunday here it is. Okay, this Sunday in Lodi, it is a peaceful protest. I just want to say that that's one of the reasons why I can go. I can't really go to protests because I'm allergic to pepper spray. If I get pepper spray, I'm allergic to capsaicin, which is in pepper spray. So if you like spray me with pepper spray, the results are going to end up in like you wanted to back me off. Well, now I'm dead. So congratulations, you just killed me. So I am going because it's a peaceful protest. We are still in the middle of a pandemic, so I'm going to be distancing anyway. So hopefully nobody can get close enough to shoot me with pepper spray. But so this Sunday in Lodi on Memorial Drive at 12 p.m. there is a peaceful Black Lives Matter protest. I believe somebody I went to high school with is the organizer. So I'm like really proud, you know, like, yeah. We were very back in high school. Like I went to a very diverse high school. I was very blessed in that sense that I got to, you know, learn about diversity at a very young age. And everybody had a big mouth and everybody, like always, we've always been like this kind of like rowdy group that wanted to stir the pot a little bit. So it's you know, kind of a proud moment of like, hey, I went to high school with that person and look what he did. That's pretty amazing. Yeah. So awesome. Yeah, if you're from New Jersey in Lodi, as long as you come in peace, at 12 o'clock, we will be protesting and we're going to march and stuff. And there's going to be like guest speakers and stuff like that. So that's really cool. Yeah.
Awesome. They have something like that going on here on Sunday too. I'm like worried to leave the house, so I'm not doing anything. But you know, like they did one that was peaceful. So I do feel like this area is, you know, a good place for that. People are just kind of letting their voice, you know, letting voices be heard and like being great. Yeah.
Well, I think the difference between like, okay, so like here, like we're only 2 miles away from like the bridge and the tunnel. We're literally right outside of the city.
Right.
But in New Jersey, our police force is definitely a little bit better than it is in New York. There's some really upsetting things that I've seen in the last week that like, I mean, I always knew their police department was corrupt, but like, I mean, like you said, like we're the type of people, we feel this when we turn it on. Last night, I watched the Buffalo police say that a man tripped, and then they showed the full video, and there was a 75-year-old man that the police shoved onto the ground that wasn't doing anything. He was just standing there, and they shoved him, and he cracked his fucking head open. He's alive. But what I think the most disturbing part was watching the rest of the fucking armed police walk past him as he was lying on the ground bleeding. Like, you not only watched your coworker toss an elderly man, 75 years old. This man has lived through so much fucking history. His voice we should be listening to right now.
Right.
Okay? He wasn't even doing anything. You shoved him to the ground and you cracked his head open, and then the whole police force just watched as he was lying on the ground and nobody helped him. So I just want to know how you are desensitized. Like you're literally an officer of the law during the biggest civil rights movement that this country has ever seen. And you just watched a man get pushed to the ground that wasn't doing anything, and you left him bleeding on the ground. There was like 50 officers that just walked past him.
Yeah. Well, so, it's that thing. And I think we talked about last week there. It's so systematic at this point that one person, you know, knows that if they're the one who stops,
but
they know what's going to happen. And it's easy for us to say. I actually had this discussion with somebody on Facebook today who put up something that said, you can bet that if I saw that happening to that man, I wouldn't be videotaping him. I would be in jail with him. And I was like, no, you wouldn't. I wouldn't. I would videotape it because that's the safest thing for me. I'm a single mom. I don't want to be the next person with a knee on my neck.
No.
I know that's, and it's the same. And if I can relate to that as a person and understanding that I have that little control, then I can certainly understand what happens to the one who turned.
Okay, but it's not the civilians that are the ones that should have stepped in and intervened at that point. It is the parade of police officers that were like, they swore an oath to protect the American people. You just walked past whatever you were doing you thought was more fucking important than the elderly man that was on the ground bleeding to death. Like he was literally, I mean, in a pool of his own blood from his fucking head. And it's not a civilian's job. So while
I'm not talking about like a civilian should have done it. I'm just talking about that feeling that you get when you know that hellfire is going to rain on you, so you don't know what to do. You're a cop and you should be able to stop and be a human. But once you do that, you have now turned on because you're not supposed to. Here's the thing. Like we're trying to apply logic to something.
This person wasn't being arrested. He didn't do anything.
I understand completely. But obviously that was part of whatever this whole thing is, where it's like us against them. Do not be them. We are us. That's the problem. The problem, it can't be that way. And I don't know, when we talk about this kind of stuff, it's like, how do we change the internal workings of police?
Well,
how do we do that?
How you start is by doing what police officers across New Jersey did at the Newark, Trenton, and Camden protests, is they took a knee with the protesters and they walked with them side by side. That's how you start. You start by saying, I know what is happening is fucking wrong, and I do not stand with the officers that are doing this. I stand with the people. That's
of course. But I have this. See, I'm so jaded by it that I feel like it's great that they walked with them. I think it's wonderful. I hope that that is the change that's needed. I also feel like some of those people did it to avoid confrontation, and that when they're alone and they pull somebody over, they're still going to discriminate. They're still going to, because they're in tough areas. They're in tough areas where you are pulling over people who are questionable. And you are going to probably make...
There's a lot of gang activity in the cities that I just mentioned. There's a lot of gang activity.
Yeah. So it's great. It's all well and good to be peaceful at a time of peace, but we need you to be peaceful at a time of not peace.
Well, what I think that what needs to start happening is what is happening at some police station. Like I said, in New Jersey, like a lot of the newer cops know the people that they're dealing with. They know like the people of the city. They know who is the leader of certain things that might not be the most legal organizations. And they do try to keep the peace with those people while enforcing the law. There is like, you get to know the people of your community. You have to stop seeing people as one thing and one thing only, because while there's gang members, there's the person that lives next door to them that has a family with 3 children and is just trying to raise her kids without getting, or her kids getting shot or her getting shot, whether it's by the police or it's by a gang shooting or whatever the fuck it is. Okay, so you need to get to know the people of your community if you want to enforce the law properly. I think that that's a big part of it. And I think that that's what's missing in New York, is that it's such a big area that they don't take the time to do that. That you and I make
also like different areas too, like different areas, different issues in different areas, like the attitude, the culture of the areas matters, you know, like I can remember it was a brief period of time. My ex-husband knew like a detective in Patterson, and like just some of the stuff that he said would happen, I was like not happy about, because I was like, you're supposed to be there protecting people, and you're like letting these people go back into the community and be violent and make their community not a safe place because your agenda or your like whatever's going on within your internal affairs. And like, it's stuff I wasn't supposed to know. So obviously I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to be like, this is exactly what happened, so that now it's like an identifiable, you know, thing. But it was definitely like, okay, this is not helpful either. You know, like you may not be like taking these people down and doing whatever, but like you're supposed to also protect the innocent. And it's not just about keeping the peace. It's about protecting
the innocent. It is also about due process too, and how you don't want to bring somebody up that you know have murdered people. You don't want to bring that person up on a minor charge just to throw them in jail, because somebody is going to bail that person out. You have to have proper evidence, and you have to do things the correct way.
Right. And so these people go on and then they murder another person.
Well, that's what sucks. I mean, that's what sucks.
There's no winning. Like I feel,
but that's how. Listen, here's my whole thing: is like our domestic violence laws. We've talked about this before. Okay, been in a 2-year domestic violence case. It's almost 2 years. It'll be two years in November, and you know, for his due process, while we're waiting for the law to take effect and while there's negotiating back and forth, he's free to go and actually kill somebody. Like, he attempted to kill me and was not successful, but he is free with no record right now to go and kill somebody else with an open domestic violence case. And we have one of the strictest gun laws in the entire fucking country. New Jersey is known for their strict gun laws. He can still go and buy a fucking gun. So explain to me how the, like, you know, this system is benefiting, I mean, across the country. None of our systems are working properly. None of them are functioning. Our police, I can tell you the first things the fucking cop said to me after I had been strangled. I'd almost died. And the first thing they asked me was, have you been drinking? Yeah, I had some drinks earlier in the night. I was in my bed and I was fucking sleeping. So if you want me, you know.
Also, it doesn't matter.
The 5th time, I was in bed fucking sleeping. I had taken Ambien. I was completely passed out fucking gold. And I was strangled in my sleep. So what the fuck difference does it make if at 10 o'clock at night, I called you at 3 o'clock in the morning. If at 10 o'clock at night I had some drinks, what the fuck are you even asking me that question for? Why don't you ask me if he's been drinking? Oh, wait, that shouldn't matter either, because nobody has their right to put their hands on somebody else just because they might be on a substance or drinking or whatever the fucking case is. Stop trying to find a reason for why this happened and just know that it fucking happened. And the proof is standing right in front of you.
Right.
You've been treated like shit by the police. Okay.
Right. And honestly, that's as a white person. And this is like what I try to explain to people. I'm like, what you don't get is like, if the cops are called by somebody, a person of color, and they're rightfully
cops, I don't blame them.
Exactly. I'm like, you don't know that experience. They don't know what's going to happen. They're calling because they want protection. They don't even know they're going to get it. I know they're coming to help me.
Right. Well, see, I don't know that. And I have to tell you, there have been times that I should have called the cops that I didn't because I knew something like that was going to happen. And it fucking happened. And here I am going through this process and I'm doing it not for me. I'm not doing it for me. I'm alive. I'm fine. I'm doing well. I'm like, you know, am I permanently damaged from the situation? Obviously. Okay. But I'm alive and I'm fine. I'm doing it for the next poor woman that happens to come across his charming hazel eyes and looks into them and thinks, I'm in love. And then a year later is getting harassed. Okay. That's why I'm doing it. I don't want to do it because I'll tell you what, like, I don't ever want to call the police after that whole situation, after the way I was treated by the DA's office initially. I don't want to call the cops. I don't get what it's like to be Black at all. I hear you. If I don't want to call the police, I definitely know why you don't want to call the fucking police.
Absolutely.
I definitely know. And I'm not anti-cop. I'm not anti-cop. I am anti-cop that turns around and blames somebody, blames somebody else when a domestic violence incident happens. I'm aware against the way our system works. I'm against the way that you were trained. I'm against definitely, like, did you have a fucking mental check before you got here? Because I can see that you're not right in the head. And
we talked about this last week, and I think it's worth discussing again. The idea that that the training is lacking, that it's not even, it's like lacking in so many ways. Like I'm a therapist, okay? I have to every year take new classes to learn new things, or else I won't have my license.
Right.
I will lose my license if I don't take classes.
It's like teachers have to further their education. Therapists have to further their education. If you want to get behind a fucking car, you've got to test to get behind a car.
I have to have insurance that if a person that I treat decides that I didn't treat them well, then they could also go take my license. There's a lot of checks and balances in my career that they belong there. They belong. I'm not upset that they're on me. They belong there. I'm
doing the right thing, and you're always doing the right thing. That's why you're not upset that they're there. Do you think that there aren't people that are complaining?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that cops would be upset that they're there. They're not there.
They're not.
I think they could benefit from that.
I think that some of them would be upset. I think some of them would be upset.
Which is fine. It's just like any other job. If you can't handle the stipulations that are put on you, then you can't be in the job. If you don't want to go to therapy, if you don't want to get an eval, then you don't be a cop, and that's it. And it's fine. You can go be something else. It's totally cool.
Listen, as a bartender, I had to know what to do if somebody came into the bar already intoxicated. I had to know when to call the police. I had to know when to cut somebody off as a fucking bartender. Okay? My education is I went to fucking manicuring school. That's as much as I've furthered my education, okay? But I fucking had to go and explain every couple of years to the food, the ABC why I should be behind a bar. Why aren't cops held to that standard?
Yeah. And even when they do, like, even if something happens and they get like told that they have to go to therapy.
Oh, forget it.
Yeah. Like it's not.
Well, therapy is never good therapy.
Well, and it's not even that. It's that it's not long enough for it to be therapy. They're not engaging. Like so somebody comes in my door and they're told that they have to come by court. It's going to take me a hell of a lot longer to get that person to like me and want to talk to them.
Sure.
It doesn't mean that they won't. It just means it's going to take a long time. It's going to take more than 3-4 sessions. It's going to be expensive, basically. The word is expensive, and that's probably why it doesn't happen. I feel like if it were that way,
riot gear and shit like that, though, right? They have no problem training dogs that go and attack, they're police dogs that go and are trained to attack people when they're supposed to be looking for drugs. They can spend all of that money
Mm-hmm.
Fucking
And
making
not
sure.
for nothing, I think personally 90% of the police force probably would like it because they
I
have
don't
something to some place to let that go. Let all of what they see go.
Well, again, I'm not against police. I'm not against men. I love how everyone thinks I'm a feminist, so clearly.
Well, I mean, you're feminist, but it doesn't mean anti-man, and that's the problem.
Oh my God. Well, I want to see are there comments coming up? I want to see
I don't see any comments yet.
That's all right. I just want to see how long before somebody tells me to take my clothes off again, because that was
yeah. I mean, and I want to look at my dress thing. I was like, cool. We finally have people who want to say silly shit.
Well, which is fine. I was actually talking to a guy friend about that, like how somebody was like, like, take your clothes off. You can't hurt me. I'm already on Instagram. My ass is out there. If you want to Google me, you can go Google my ass. It's totally fine. You can't hurt me with that. I'm not ashamed by it.
Let's just make a new shirt that says Google my ass.
Yeah.
You know what? This is perfect. This is like a perfect segue into talking about like women's stuff, because I have to say, like, I have like a few friends that I've made down here, and I feel like they're liberating like this part of me that I feel like I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's so important to kind of share that message that it's like, dude, it's really fine. If you are fine with, if you're okay with what you want to do, then do it. You don't have to tell anybody. You don't have to answer to anybody.
I don't have anybody to answer to. I've come to the conclusion also after I've talked to a bunch of guy friends, but like a lot of my friends are guys. Some of them are guys that I've had sex with. I'm not ashamed of that. It's not like I'm a prostitute. Like, my boy bestie said to me the other day, so who are you fucking kicking out of your bed these days? And I'm like, it's a pandemic, not as many people as I would like.
I don't want the Rona, so I'm a little.
I don't want the Rona. Yeah. We used to be like, we don't want the herpes, and now we're like, we don't want the Rona.
Right.
But yeah, like, listen, like I think that I'm not in the mindset to be in a relationship, or if I am going to be in a relationship, I need to be in an open one. I know that's quite a different speech than I gave you like a month ago. I thought, like,
it's all good, dude.
Pulled out and like things were getting to me, and I was like, I need a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I don't fucking need anybody. I don't fucking need it. Yeah, I don't need anybody. I still like to have sex, but I do not need to have a title on said sex, or I need an open relationship, because I do not do well when I'm like pinned down. And
yeah, that's the thing, is that pinned down thing is like,
yeah, it's not good for me.
Not what a relationship should feel like.
No, it shouldn't. But I felt like, listen, the last relationship I was in, I didn't feel pinned down, but I also didn't feel like, yay. I didn't have that like factor either. So like, I don't know. Like, I think that I spent half of my adult life and part of my teenage life being in like long-term serious fucking relationships. And every time there was an itch, I always had an itch. Like, oh my God, stop trying to control me. I need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So maybe
I feel you. Mine's 4.5 years. I can deal with people's bullshit for 4.5 years. And it's not an itch to get out because I want something else. It's like, I am now done with your bullshit. Like, I'm out. 4.5 years every single time.
Well, I remember it last time. I remember it quite well. I like to drag things out. I like things to end in a lawsuit. So like 7 years, I guess, is my like bullshit one.
Oh my God, I almost choked.
Again, guys, the thing is, like, you know, listen, people are frightened by me. I was told I was intimidating the other day by a guy friend.
That's awesome.
Well, I've been told that before.
Like, be scared, be very scared.
Well, I think now it's funny when people used to say it to me when I was in a relationship that I was intimidating. Now I think it's really hilarious that it's happening as I'm single. I'm being told I'm intimidating. And I think it's because there's nothing that like you could say to me that like, I mean, like if you ask me a question, like if I'm having sex with you and you ask me a question, are we exclusive? I'm going to say no. Yeah. The answer to that is no. I mean, it's probably not what you want to hear, but I doubt that you're probably still on Tinder, bro. So like, I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? So I guess I am intimidating in that way, that I say how it is. And like, I've been told I'm more like a man, which I think is insulting. I don't have a penis. I just don't want to put up with your bullshit.
No, I'm gonna rebut that, because if you're telling the truth, you're not more like a man.
Exactly.
Like,
how many times have we had that conversation? Like, all you had to do is be honest with me, because like, I don't want to waste my time. And I mean, my time, like, I don't want to waste my time thinking that you think that this is something else. Maybe I think that can go in that direction. Don't waste my fucking time. Just tell me we're just fucking, and I'll be like, rock on.
Right. Cool. Seriously. I mean, I have like a big problem lately. Like, I've really just, it's probably because I've been watching a lot of like teen movies. I just finished Outer Banks.
I love it. Oh my God. I loved Outer Banks, and I feel really dirty. How old is the guy that's what's his real name? Chase something, or Chase Stokes, I think his real name is.
Do you mean like John?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's in his 20s, because I'm pretty sure we looked it up too, because we were just like,
I feel really dirty saying this, but like, I think his name is Chase Stokes. First of all, his name is Chase. How cute is that?
Yeah, Chase. And Stokes. Like, how cool could
nobody was named Chase in my generation, right? It's probably not his real name. I don't really care. He's hot. He's really hot. And I was like watching him with the girl, like the rich girl. And I was like, she looks too young for him. And I'm like, asshole, she's probably his age. like,
hi, we're watching teen drama. Like,
and then you had the girl that's like making out with him because you're not her.
Right. Yeah. But like, so the whole reason why I think that I'm like getting a little extra agitated at dudes is because I'm watching that and I'm just like, the fairy tale for women is not a prince that comes and saves us. The fairy tale for women is a man who, if he's hopelessly in love with her, is going to tell her honestly, and then be like faithful and wonderful and great. Like, that's what we want. Like, if you love us, say that you love us and then love us. That's what we want. You see teenagers do it because they're all like, they're not jaded by the world.
They're still not, I don't want to call them dumb, but they haven't been jaded by the reality of a real relationship.
Right. So I'm watching it and I'm just kind of like, I'm pretty sure that that's like my problem with guys my age, is that nobody wants to tell the goddamn truth. Nobody wants to settle into anything because they feel like that means they're settling for less than what they could get. Right. Like, it's just this whole big, what else can I get world? And I'm like, over it.
Well, see, like, we're in different places, because so you're my age, we're the same age. I think, what are you, like a couple months older than me?
I'm 32.
I'm 31. I had my 21-year-old right when I got my period at 10. That child that's sleeping on the couch out there, I had him when I was 10 years old.
Anywho.
Oh, that's another thing. Whenever I see somebody's close in age to my son after I Google them watching them on a movie, I'm like,
no, you're about to ruin this for me. You're about to ruin this for me.
Yeah, I've Googled guys that I thought were hot. There's this like, so I watched this show, Legacies. It's a spinoff of the Vampire Diaries and the originals. And there's this kid that I think is like so hot on it. And I'm like, how old is he? And I think he was 23 or 24 when I looked him up. He's playing a 17-year-old, of course, or an 18-year-old. And I'm like, that's disgusting. My child is 21. Anyway, all right. I'm not jealous, by the way. Watching my son with relationships from that age period.
Yeah.
They are
especially now.
Dude, they are fucking exhausting. They, like, the first month that they were dating were fighting and shit. And I'm like, no. This is supposed to be like the honeymoon time period. You guys aren't supposed to, like, be jealous.
20 years makes a lot of difference in the culture of dating. Like, really, when you think about it. 20 years ago when I was 20, 20 years ago when I was 11 or whatever. I can't do math. Whatever. 20 years ago was different.
I was engaged when I was my son's age. I was engaged and my second child was on the way. So I had my second son when I was 22 years old. So Or I was about to turn 23. So we're in different places mentally, but I hear them and I'm just like, ew.
Yeah.
This is so immature.
Yeah,
And
we
here
never
I
go
am,
back.
I'm like people talking to themselves in my DM. I'm real mature right now. See, like you're all like, I want the truth, and I'm like, don't tell me the truth, because if you say you like me, I'm going to have to kick you out and never see you again.
But that's fine. Like, but that's you know, and maybe we're partially to blame for it. Maybe, but it's also like people have to also understand, and this was one of the hardest things for me to understand was like rejection is part of life, but if you don't tell somebody how you honestly feel, then you're effectively manipulating them in one way or another, and that's not right.
Okay, so I was told by somebody that I don't talk to anymore that I'm too honest. I'm too honest. Like when I start to like somebody, I'll let them know, because like, listen, here's the thing. I don't really often like, it's not often that I'm like, hey, I kind of like you. Scares me a little bit because I can see this maybe going somewhere, and I will tell that person. So I either get one of two reactions. That person's nonstop on top of me, and I'm like, I should not have said those words. Or it's like you're blowing me off. So it's like, I feel like, I don't know, like my honesty always gets me in trouble, but I'm still going to be honest. I'm not going to sit there and pretend like I'm emotionless when I feel some sort of emotion. I'm not going to do that, you know?
Yeah. But that's the thing, is exactly what you said. We kind of get conditioned to do that because it's like, wow, it's so negative. Either way, it doesn't seem pleasant. So I feel like, well, I'm not going to do it at all.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like now I'm very guarded with what I say after being told like, oh, you speak too freely. I'm like, kind of like, you know, like I don't want to spare somebody's feelings. Like you spare somebody's feelings and you don't know what to do.
Yeah, except for like, here's the deal. Like I am clearly like a 95-year-old woman because
you really are.
Well, I'm 32, but I'm a 95-year-old woman because I'll sit there and I'll be like listening to Motown because it makes me happy. And I'm like, every song is about how much they love each other. Every song is like, baby, 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 come back to me, love me, please love me, please love me. And I'm like, what happened? How did we get so far from
here? Listen, I like listen, like I love like I hate country music. You know, I hate country music, but I love old country, like Patsy Cline, like crooning.
She falls to pieces. You're like, yes.
So listen, this is how much of a horror movie person I am. I cannot hear that song without thinking. There was this Dean Koontz book that I read a million years ago when I was like 18 years old. I remember it being I had read Stephen King at this point. I don't know, like, you know, I was not scared of much. And this book, it was called Phantoms by Dean Koontz, and they made a horrible fucking movie out of it. Of course, Ben Affleck was in it. Of course he was. But there's a scene from the movie that was in the book that they have Patsy Cline singing I Fall to Pieces, and they walk into this house and there's a fucking hand on the record player and there's a head spinning through the fucking oven. So every time I hear I Fall to Pieces, I literally think about the scene from that movie, and it's not very romantic.
Yeah, that's not romantic at all.
This is why I'm single. This is why I'm single. That's the first place my brain goes. I have ferrets.
There's a weirdo out there that thinks of that too.
There's definitely the weirdo out there that's like, oh my God, I think of that too. That horrible movie from 1998. But yeah, like, so, but there are songs definitely that they're singing where I'm like, they're like talking about like being treated like shit, like a man, like by a man, and still loving them. And I'm like, oh girl, we don't admit that. It's 2020. We don't admit that. No, we don't write songs about that. We write angry songs.
Yeah. See, I get that on the female side for sure. And it's funny, like I haven't been there yet. I guess because when I listen to Motown, I'm usually listening to like male singers. Honestly, I'm listening to like Smokey Robinson and the Four Tops and stuff, you know, and it's all about love and it's all about like their heart-wrenching deals. And you're just like, well, this is why we have unrealistic expectations. We want that. We want somebody to not be afraid to say that they're in pain because they're not with you. Instead, it's like, fuck that bitch. And you're like, yeah, fuck me, I guess.
I'm like, yeah, no, fuck me. I know. Trust me. Fuck me. Move on. Next. Definitely this isn't going to end well. Next.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the matter? What do you look?
No, somebody just went by on a motorcycle and I had like a jealousy moment. Everybody has a goddamn motorcycle in my neighborhood. Everybody except me.
I'll be your old lady if you get one. I can't.
I'm going to get one. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when I can.
I'll be your old lady. I mean, everyone's going to think we're lesbians, but
whatever.
Well, I mean, I'm half of a lesbian, but just not with you ever. Literally ever, guys. Get it out of your head.
I feel like that's exactly what people will hear at the bar when we're out. Are you a lesbian? I'm a half a lesbian.
I don't discriminate if you have a vagina.
But yeah, I don't know. I've been doing a lot of thinking, a lot of introspective thinking about like, I still don't want to be in a relationship. I don't. I really like being alone. Like I really like it just being me and my kid. And maybe it's because it's me and my kid. And I feel like this is such a special time. That might be it. It may change. Like I'm not going to say forever about anything. My track record definitely points to I'm going to want to be alone forever because
I was just going to say, like, I've never known you. Like, I do remember there was a very brief time period in your life where you were like, I feel like I need to be in a relationship. And it was with the totally wrong person. And we all saw it happening like a train wreck. And we tried to say something, but we didn't want to be like offensive. We knew that there was a train wreck involved, though. You got a daughter out of it, though. So everything works out for a reason. I mean, people saw relationships I was in and they were like, that's definitely a train wreck. But I have 3 kids now. So
yeah, it's all worth it, you know.
Yeah. Everything happens for a reason.
And that relationship was definitely one that I didn't expect to happen. So when everybody's like, oh, what happened when you don't expect it? I'm like, I get that, but I'm not talking about whether or not I'm expecting it or looking for it. I'm just saying I'm really comfortable alone.
Yeah, I'm comfortable alone too. Like I like really, and like this sounds so stupid. I enjoy being able to watch my shit on Netflix alone without somebody judging me for what I'm watching. Yeah, I have fucking on Hulu on pause right now. I got fucking Buffy. I'm watching it for the 40th fucking go around. There's a 40th go around. While my ferrets drag my personal items across my bedroom. Definitely have 2 weeks worth of laundry that needs to be done. And you know who's going to judge me? Nobody. My parents don't judge. Like, so yeah, I kind of like being single because everybody just leaves me alone. If I want to make a mess, I can make a mess. If I want the ferrets to drag around my personal items, I can. The other day, my son was yelling at me. One of the Crowley shit in the corner of the room. And he was like getting ready to discipline him and put him in the cage. And I was like, I'm just going to clean it up. And don't you dare put that animal away. He only gets out for a couple hours a day. That's not right. Don't do that. And he was like, judging me. He's like, that's why they don't listen. And I'm like, I fucking care.
That's why I like being alone.
That's why I like being alone. Go back in the living room, bro. Go play your Xbox. Go talk to your girlfriend on FaceTime. Just leave me alone. Okay?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And
even my son was me.
I was having that discussion the other day and I was just like, you know, the more that I think about it, the more I'm not a man hater. I'm not. I am jaded. I'm definitely jaded because of my experience. I do understand that my experience is my choices. My choices are things that I have to like go through and figure out why I made those choices. But it inherently comes down to my sensitivity because I'm sensitive. If another person is in the house, I automatically shift to be worried about what I'm causing for them. And I know that it's, you know, maybe not 100% healthy, but it comes from a good place. I don't want other people to feel uncomfortable around me.
No, but you feel comfortable.
But I realized that there's a different dynamic. So say Colleen was here for the last 10 days. I didn't feel the same way because I don't need her validation. I don't need her acceptance. I already have it.
I was just going to say, because your friends don't judge you the way that others do.
Right. So it's like the thought of having a man in here. So I was having this discussion with one of my guy friends, and I was just like, I can be 100% me. 100% without judgment. I can dance around the living room. I can dance around the kitchen. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I can put a headdress on and act like a maniac in the backyard and ain't nobody saying shit. That's what I know that I can't find in another human being or haven't found in another human being. So I'm not going to even think about it until I believe that exists. That's it.
Well, we have to, I think that, like, I mean, sometimes I do think that, like, maybe I'm meant to be alone. I spent the first half of my life trying to please people I was in relationships with. Maybe the second half of my life is for me to enjoy and to be alone. And like you said, like, dance around the kitchen without judgment. I will fucking listen to Gavin DeGraw for 3 hours. And if you don't dare tell me, don't tell me, like, listen. I'm like, perception. I know everyone has this perception too. I think it's hysterical. Like, yeah, I like, okay, so I'm gothy. Like, I wear all black and I have, like, you know, I'm wearing a fucking Supernatural shirt that's probably predates one of my children. Like, I am, you know, I do look a certain way so they think I'm gonna fuck. What do you think I listen to? Marilyn Manson, and I want to like slip my wrist in the corner. What do you think I fucking listen to?
We're gonna circle back to Marilyn Manson, by the way.
We can go back to Marilyn Manson. I'm always up to, I saw his butt in person. So,
okay. But we're going to circle back. You just keep talking about your music and what
thing is, like, you have this perception. I do listen to, okay. So you probably also, because I'm a feminist, you think that I'm like listening to the Lilith Fair soundtrack every day. I do listen to Fiona Apple. Every day. I listen to Fiona Apple. I'm in some kind of fucking mood. I put on Fiona and I'm like, well, now that's a bitch that's angrier than me.
Yeah. Like, I'm still good. I'm still good.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm fine. That's how I feel when I listen to her now. I'm like, I'm not as crazy as they think I am. She's but like, you know, like, I guess that people, but I will listen to Gavin DeGraw, and don't you fucking judge me. Some douchebag was like lecturing me on Twitter because I was like listening to John Mayer and Gavin DeGraw and started giving me a lecture about how men don't like John Mayer. And I was like,
shit. I'm not men. Thanks.
Good thing that I don't give a fuck what you guys with penises think. That's first of all. Second of all, you're really gonna shit talk John Mayer, bro? He replaced Jerry Garcia in the Dead and Company. He's in the Dead and Company. You can't say bad things about John Mayer. You cannot like him. You might think he's a fucking pompous douche. I think so too. He's a
like, what did he expect you to do? Be like, you're right. I shouldn't like John Mayer.
Too, like, because I was like, it was like hashtag maybe this is why I'm still single, which was a joke. If you know me clearly, like, that's like a joke. But it's like I choose to be single, ass face, like, but whatever. And he's like, maybe it has something to do with the ferrets and John Mayer. And I was just like, are you implying that men don't like ferrets or John Mayer? Or do you think I care? Like,
yeah. And also, do you think that those are prerequisites that, you know, listen, men are looking?
And if you can't admit that you like John Mayer as somebody who likes music, then you just are dumb. Okay. Right.
Or Gavin DeGraw. I mean, seriously.
Or like, Gavin DeGraw is a great musician. I don't care, but I don't like, listen, I'm not super into like his latest poppy. It's too overly poppy for me. But man, I'm seeing
your niece with my iPod, she will walk around that house with She Sets the City on Fire and fucking belt that shit out. That is her jam. That is her jam.
Because of her, because I was like dancing around with her. Remember when she was a baby and I was like dancing around with her? I think I like that song because of her. Damn it, Scarlett. But no.
Yeah, I didn't like that album either. And then I listened to it a bunch of times and I was just like, some of these things feel like they're about me.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I didn't like it. Because a lot of them are about like women who can't be held down. And I'm like,
oh, maybe that is maybe that's why I don't like it.
Like, Gavin, oh shit. Like, I'm never going to marry Gavin if that's what he doesn't like.
Not embarrassed to like that admit that I like Gavin. I will throw on some fucking Justin Timberlake and Cry Me a River. I don't fucking care.
You'll BB Mac. You've BB Mac'd with me.
Huh?
You've BB Mac'd with me.
Oh my God. I went to see BB Mac. I told you I went to see BB Mac. I like have an affection for those boys.
Yeah.
I will totally listen to some BB Mac. I let go of all of that shit in my early 20s, like, because I was such like a grunge, like, I was like super into that scene and thinking that you can't like one thing without hating the other, because I was immature and I was a child. And now, like, as I got older, I mean, I let that shit go in my early 20s. Like, yeah, I'll listen to some NSYNC, bro. Still not I still have like a New Kids on the Block I still can't listen to and take seriously. I know you love
and I love you anyway. And I love you regardless of your wrongness here.
I was listening to Poison when that was happening. So like, I really don't have.
I was too. That's what's weird.
Yeah, I don't have the same affection that you do. I thought it somehow made me less cool. Like I was wearing a leather jacket that I had sewn patches on. So.
See, and like I have always, this was another part of my discussion when I was talking to this, you know, this male friend of mine about like, I was just like, I don't know, man, the more that I get to know what I need, not who I am, because I've kind of always known who I am, but the more that I understand like what I need in order to remain me, I'm like, people can't fucking handle that. People want to figure people out. People want people to make sense. I don't make any sense. I make no goddamn sense. I will take that leather jacket that I had at 16, you know, because I was riding on the back of my dad's Harley Davidson, but I was also in love with Joey Mack from New Kids on the Block. This makes no sense. Welcome to the life of me.
I don't make sense either. And I mean, I'm like, listen, we were joking around about how old we are. We're 40. My sheets still don't match. Like I have 20 different pillowcases. I have a fucking goddamn Game of Thrones pillow on my bed. There are skulls covering my fucking living room. There's a line from if you want to make
sense also llamas.
Before, like, I mean, like, I'm not going to be the boring crate and barrel wife that some people desires.
Right. But like you have your skulls and then you walk into the next room and you're like, it's llama-rific in here. There's llamas everywhere. It's beautiful. It's pink and llamas.
There's like a hippie poster behind me. There's unicorns over there. You walk into my living room and you think that you're walking into the house of the person that might kill you. Yeah. Like I might end up on Snapped. And then you walk in here and it's like Happy Land. And there's like, you know, unicorns, llamas. I don't make any sense. I don't have
honestly, like I think it's beautiful because it means that like we're open. We are open to everything. Something can come into our lives and we're just like, hey, if I like it, it becomes part of me. I don't need to be part of any group that makes me I don't not want to be made something else.
Yeah, and I don't want to be made to feel bad for who I am. So if like you try to do that, like I'm out.
Exactly. And like there's so much of that going on right now that I'm just like, I'm barely on social media anymore, which is weird for me because I was always on it. But I'm just like, I just need to be me. And I need to connect with the things that make me feel that way.
To everybody that follows me on Instagram, I think I've lost a few followers over the last couple of days. I have people trying to reason with me in my inbox. I'm really not sure why. If it's because you think I'm a white woman that you think that you can fucking reason with me and like see your side of the fucking conservative argument, you were in the wrong inbox. And when I said that I was open to trying to talk to you about new opinions, I didn't mean that I thought that you were going to change my mind. I didn't think that I was going to change your mind. I'm into the idea of opening up dialogue, but don't you dare tell me how to fucking feel. So, like, if you're on my Instagram now, I am a scary, scary bitch. I don't care. I don't care. Silence is right now, and I am fucking.
Well, so let's talk about that too, because I feel like that happened to me too. I put up this post because you know, there's so many people that are like, oh, virtue signaling. Everybody's virtue signaling. Oh, look at me, look at me. I'm like, if you think that about me, then you never knew me. I just feel like I need to speak out because I have feelings right now. And so I'm going to talk about my feelings.
Right.
And like,
well, we know people don't like that to begin with.
Of course not. And of course on the post, I was like, do not post a fucking news story or a statistic because everybody can find one. Research is not what it used to be. Please don't do that. Talk to me human to human. If you can't understand or if you
why my heart really like why I see this and it's
tell me what you feel. Let's talk about it like humans. Don't say that I'm wrong because I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm going to try to find out where you're coming from because I need to meet you where you're at to bring you where you need to be. That's it.
Makes you a better person than me because I tried that for a couple days until I had people in my inbox literally saying that Antifa was responsible for looting and rioting. Like, listen, I had somebody from law enforcement send me that message. You scare me, bro. You fucking scare me. You're watching Fox News and then going out and being a defender of the people. That fucking scares me. Okay. Yeah. You're just proving everything in my head is not paranoia. You're scaring me, dude. Okay. It's not Antifa. Rioting, looting is part of a movement. It's what gets shit done.
Do you think the protesters are rioting and looting?
I do not. I actually think that I'm going to say something that I think that some of them are. I think some of people are going to take this as an opportunity to grab shit and run. I think people that are destructive are going to use this as an opportunity. I do not think that the Black Lives Matter movement is riot and looting. I do not think that Antifa is an anti-fascist group. They are not known. They don't have one death behind their fucking backs. They own up to everything that they do. They are not going to. This is a cause. Like they are fighting for a cause. They're not going to put that cause in jeopardy by putting attention on them and going out and rioting and looting. I think what is happening is that there are bad people that see this as an opportunity, number one. Okay, so that's the non-conspiracy side of me saying that. Number two, I see a lot of fucking white women that look like Tomi Lorraine fucking out there setting cop cars on fire. Okay, I think that right now, there are people that are on the right that are going out and going, look at what they did. You see what they did? 100%. A peaceful protest turned into the, see what they said? And I don't think it is a conspiracy theory. I think you're going to try to make me feel that way. But that's what's happening, dude. That is definitely what's fucking happening. I'm not saying
1,000% agree with you.
Yeah, and I don't think that there are not bad people that are taking advantage of a civil rights movement to go and be assholes. I think there's a small part of that. I think that there's also, I see too many people that look like they're in Trump's army out there fucking blowing shit up and going, you see that? That's Antifa.
You know why? Because they know that the majority of people are fucking stupid, because that's how we got into this current predicament in our government, because the majority of people are easily swayed by.
But they are stupid people that believe this, though. Like
they're easily swayed. So like I see all these people, and that was part of my post, I think yesterday, where I was like, all right, listen, guys, is the media lying or not? Because you had no problem saying that the media was lying about COVID.
You're lying when
right now you think the media is not lying about these looters and protests. So does the media lie or doesn't it?
Well, you can't have it both ways. Is lying. Middle of the road media is not lying. Okay, so like true middle of the road media is not lying. What is not lying, and what I think that we have the advantage that we've never fucking had before. Everybody is the fucking media. We're all walking around with smartphones now. We see you. We see what you are fucking doing. We're going to show your face. We're going to fucking shame you on social media until somebody admits to knowing your ass. And we're going to fucking have your job taken away and your friends turned against you because you deserve that. You're taking advantage of one of the biggest movements that we will ever see in our fucking lifetime for evil.
Can we also talk about this? And this I just posted before we got on there. It took me a while to like get to this because math is hard. But I thought in my head, I was like, when the fuck was segregation? Or desegregation? When was that? The 60s?
1968, the Martin Luther King riot.
It's 2020. How the fuck does it take you over 60 years to accept a movement? What is wrong with us?
We're going to listen.
What's wrong with us?
Hold on. I just want you to I think that people need to realize too, what is happening right now, while this is a huge movement, people aren't going to accept this in our lifetime. They're not. There's going to be inherited hate that is going to prevent our message to getting across to a lot of people. And we need to accept that. I'm not saying that we need to stop fighting what we're fighting. Yeah. But we need to understand that, listen, when you look back, I want people to think of in terms, this is truly what I want people to think of. When your grandchildren are learning about what happened in history in 2020, what fucking side are you on? Are you on the side of the oppressor? Are you on the side of the Nazis that are storming federal buildings 2 weeks before a major civil rights movement and still a Nazi? Are you on that side? Or are you on the side of people that do not want to accept this anymore? We don't want to accept this anymore. I don't want to accept this.
Right. So, and again, there are a lot of people, okay, and I'm going to say this too. There are a lot of people in the middle that don't know they're in the middle. And the reason why I know this is because, again, on this post, and I was really calling out for everybody because I have so many different people in my social media. I have people from growing up. I have people from, my life in New Jersey. I have people everywhere. So I thought, like, this is a great time to kind of bring
a teaching moment
together as I can. Exactly. Just so people can interact, because I've been everywhere. I've been all those places. That's how I found all these people. So I have that experience. People who never left don't have that experience. So let's talk about it. And so one of the people who responded is somebody who I've known literally since I was a itty bitty child, like 7, 8 years old. I love her so much. If I showed up at her door at any time of the night, she would take care of me. She is a great person. She would do that for anybody, not just me. She'd do that for anybody.
Okay.
But her response was basically like, I don't think anybody in this culture would ever discriminate. And I thought in my head, okay, listen, that shows me a lot, because I grew up in a super white area. When the first Black family moved in, their well was poisoned. And I'm not making it up. It was poisoned. So their life literally was water. The only way they could get water was from the well, because it wasn't a city. You couldn't get city water. It was in the fucking woods. They were worried to drink the water that came out of their faucet, because people hated them for the color of their skin.
Yeah.
And me, I was like, I was 8 years old, and I remember that.
How did this person not pick up on that?
Right. How was that not part of the narrative that you learned? You were older than me, but how did you not hear that? I heard it because I was friends with that kid.
So listen, I will say this, I always raised my children, which I now know is a mistake, to be almost colorblind. Okay. Because when I look at a person, I was not even raised that way, but the way I always felt was you don't notice what's different about the person. You notice what is good, inherently good about a person. You don't notice the difference. That's not the way that we need to raise our kids anymore. We can't be colorblind anymore. I didn't know that that was wrong. I raised my children that way.
For sure.
So now I have to reprogram them and be like, listen, as a white woman, this was my privilege to tell you not to see people for their color, their sexual orientation. That was a privilege. Yeah. Now we need to wake up and realize that, guess what? We're not the same. And that's okay. We're not the same. When I get pulled over in a car, I don't drive, but if I get pulled over with another white person, we don't worry about getting shot. We're like, fuck, hide the weed. We don't worry about getting shot.
Well, is this guy really going to give me a ticket with this lady and her friends and her kids in the car?
Right. We're not worried about getting shot. We're worried about something completely fucking different. Mm-hmm. And now that's what I have to start teaching my kids. When I learned better, I'm now doing better. Exactly. I didn't know everything. I don't know everything now. I'm learning. I am listening while I'm shouting at people. I am still listening.
Yeah. So, and that's the difference, is that I feel like, again, part of that post was like me asking, and I said it straight out because I was feeling it. I was like, why is it that somebody has to respond to a Black Lives Matter post in a way that makes that, or tries to make that go away? Why can't you just say, or if you're white, why can't you say on my post right now, racism still exists and it's wrong? Just say it. Say that. You don't have to say Black Lives Matter. You don't have to say movement. You don't have to say any of it.
What is happening?
And nobody could say it. Nobody could say racism still exists and it's wrong.
Listen, if you don't
say it.
Say it, and say, I didn't mean to be, but I was being racist in my privilege, not on purpose, not out of hate. I was being racist in my privilege between not noticing the difference between you and I, and by not acknowledging it. I'm acknowledging it now, and I was wrong. What the fuck is so hard about saying that? What is about saying I was wrong that gets people?
And not only that, but why can't people just say it, that racism exists and it's wrong? People cannot bring themselves to say it.
They think that somehow it negatively impacts them.
Exactly.
Listen, and I will say this, growing up, I don't know if you know this, but growing up, I lived in Bernardsville until I was 9 years old.
Right.
I am Sicilian. I have dark skin. I have dark eyes. I have dark hair. My hair is very ethnic when I don't straighten it. And people used to say to my mother in the supermarket, this was like a big thing for my mom. She got really fucking mad. Somebody said, your daughter is very interesting looking. What nationality is she? And my mom was like, my mom's the whitest fucking woman in the world. So I look adopted. I really do look adopted. My father is Sicilian. I look like my father. And my mother,
you and Pat do not look alike.
Her father is black. My mom looked at the woman and said, her father is black, and walked away. And she was like, yeah, she did. She did. Because she was fucking pissed. She was like, what balls? What kind of balls does that take for someone to like blatantly ask that? Like, so Bernardsville is a very whitewashed Anglo-Saxon town. There's like not even Spanish people when I was younger. I don't know what it's like now, but when I was younger, like there were no Spanish people. Nobody looked like me. Everybody was very Anglo-Saxon looking. Like nobody had brown hair. Nobody had like brown eyes. Nobody had bushy eyebrows that like need a weed whacker. I'd start shaving when I was fucking 8. Nobody got that. I am racially ambiguous looking even now. Like all the time people say they're afraid to ask me. They're like, so where are your grandparents or your parents from? And I'm like, America, fucking asshole.
Right.
They are. I mean, they are. My grandparents on my father's side immigrated from Sicily, but like my other grandparents are American. And okay, like,
and what does it matter? Are we now? Are you going to treat me differently when you find out? Like, what's the deal?
I've had people straight up ask me, "Are you Middle Eastern?" I get that a lot. I don't know if people say it's my eyes. I don't know. And people walk up to me. I live in a 96% Hispanic town. People walk up to me all the time and just start speaking Spanish, like I'm supposed to fucking understand. I don't.
Yeah, I remember that.
I wish I did. I feel ignorant and stupid for not understanding because I wish I fucking did. Like I caught out of the 10 words you said, I caught 2 of them.
Yeah.
So I don't really, but so I do think like I don't look typically white. And then sometimes I do, I guess. So people will say that they feel the need to like say hateful things in front of me, and I'm like, wrong person, motherfucker.
Like, right.
Like, wrong person.
Guess what's about to happen?
Yeah, guess what's about to you're about to fucking get lectured, and this is not going to be, you know what I mean? Like,
and it's like, I get it to an extent, and this is where like I talk about meeting people where they're at. I'm like, listen, if you've never left this super white area, you actually don't get it. And I understand, especially if you don't trust the media. So now you're watching stuff that makes you feel like it's trying to influence you in a certain way. So I get it. I'm not mad at you for being confused, but I want you to say you're confused. I want you to ask questions.
Open up and
I want you to try to find out what the real deal is. And like, this is my discussion with everybody when they're like, oh, the media. I'm like, then talk to a person. Like, why the fuck are you watching the media?
I'm going to also say this. Stop, because this is a very Trump agenda that we are going down right now. Stop blaming the media. You're a human being. You can watch something and then go. You have a fucking smartphone. Everybody's got a smartphone. Mine might be an iPhone 7, okay? But it is still smart, and I can still fucking Google on that bitch. Yeah. Okay?
These are the same people that say video games don't cause violence. And it's like, right, because you have to teach your child not to be violent, right? So it's not about learning from the media. It's not about learning from the video game.
It's also about like those two, like we cannot kill free press just because there are bad journalists out there that are taking an agenda, their own personal agenda, like people that are on Fox News. It fits their agenda and their fucking blonde hair and blue eyes to sit up there with their fucking spray tan and to spew Trump's agenda and to show a video that is edited or to only show videos of bad things that are happening right now. It is your fucking job as a responsible human being to go out there and see what's really happening. Yep. I'm liberal. I do not let CNN feed me my news. I don't let MSNBC feed me my news.
None.
I don't watch any of them either, but people assume first of all, I don't even fucking have TV. I have Netflix, Hulu, and
like I'm watching Heart of Dixie, bitch. That's where I'm getting my news from.
Like I'm watching Buffy right now. My son's name is Xander. Okay. Yeah. I
Right.
live in 1998, bitches.
But that was the discussion that I had today. I was like, you don't like the media? Stop watching. Like, just stop. I don't understand. Like, I stopped because I'm super sensitive. I don't like to hear bad stuff. It really fucks up my life. I stopped for that reason, but I'm glad I stopped. And I like say to them, I'm like, I'm not like living in 1920 because I don't watch the news.
Right.
I still am up on current events, but it's because I don't look for mainstream. I look for people. I hear people's voices. Exactly. I talk to people. Like, again, part of that post was like saying how gracious or how much gratitude I have for my friends that are of different races, because I'm like, it didn't take a movement for me to have to learn this. I don't know your experience a lot because you're my friend.
We're also blessed in that.
About your experiences. So I know what real life is like for you as a Black person in whatever, or you as a Spanish person.
Like, I know what
your life is like.
From what because you have a diverse group of friends. You don't know from experience, but you know from diversity in your life. And we realize that not everybody has that.
Listening.
Right. People are not listening.
No. I'm not telling people that they're wrong when they tell me how they experience.
The difference between wrong and ignorance. They're ignorant. They don't know because they don't understand, and somehow that threatens their intelligence. Maybe it threatens their whiteness. Whatever the fuck it threatens. I'm sorry. We can't use those. Like, I am being vocal and saying, like, listen, like, you are going to sit there and blame the media, and I am telling you, you better stop doing that, because guess what? Our free press is being threatened right now. They're kicking people out of protests. So, like, I'm gonna say this. Everybody listen to me. I know we're like on. We're over an hour and we're getting. I have to get this in. Right now, the president of the United States is telling like cities and towns, okay, to kick media out of the protests. He doesn't want this being recorded. You can sit there and say, don't blame Donald Trump. Guess what? The people that are in charge of said cities and towns are right-wing, and they are listening. The police are listening, so they are kicking out the press because somehow it's a threat to them. You know why it's a threat to them? Because they don't want to be recorded showing the things that are happening correctly. We don't want to see people. Some people don't want to see a peaceful protest. They don't see how to get to a good place by peacefully protesting our rights. Our people, what are people saying?
We finally got a comment, and I'm so encouraged by it.
People don't want to see a peaceful protest that are on the other side of this. They want to see fire and destruction and people doing the wrong thing.
They want to say this movement is destructive. This movement is awful. They want their agenda to be.
They want to keep their white privilege. They don't want to live. They don't want to live outside of their fucking box. Okay, so I am telling you, challenge this. Once we take away the press, we are fucked. It is our right to have press. It is our right to peacefully assemble and protest. And don't let anybody fucking tell you otherwise. Like, stop being spoon-fed what you are supposed to watch. Go out there and find the right things. Stop looking for the negative in this movement. There's 98% positive in this movement. So stop seeing what you want to see because you're so white that you feel like your whiteness is threatened. I don't care about your fucking white.
Yeah. Well, I had to laugh because today, like not too long ago, I saw a post, and it's like, you know how sometimes you think you're like, I've seen it all, like I've seen all of the things, and I've explained it any way that I possibly could.
We're still
you never can, because the internet comes up with all the gems. So I saw a meme that was like, I say Black Lives Matter, and you respond with Blue Lives Matter. That means that you don't like the word black. And I was like,
so true.
Like, that's 100% true. And somebody, of course,
and then sit there and tell me that you're black friends, so you
argued it and was like, well, blue is because of it's a profession. So of course, my snarky ass wrote there, all professions matter, just because I wanted to be a dick. I wanted to be like, do you understand how dumb that seems? Like, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't always been 100% right. Nobody is.
We're not more woke, okay? We're getting there. I'm still
exactly. And I do believe that all lives matter, but I also do believe that when
we can all agree on that.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Common sense fucking thing. All lives up. Right. Do you like seeing a puppy being fucking beat? Okay. Because I don't like seeing a puppy beat. I don't like seeing black people beat either. Okay. You fucking idiot. Of course, all lives matter. My ferrets' lives matter to me, but it doesn't take away from the humans that I am watching get targeted. So shut the fuck up with your all lives matter bullshit.
And part of it to me was like, these are the same people that will be the ones that share all the like media is wrong. And it'll be like white men and black men arm in arm, or black men protecting a white man. And I'm like, okay, you can't understand. You can't understand.
Shows that only show black people that are singing in a fucking choir for white people at a wedding. Get the fuck out of here. You have a live laugh love sign in your room somewhere. Where's your live laugh love sign? I want to see that shit. Post a picture of you standing next to it so I believe you live, you laugh, and you love.
And my like argument was like, okay, but you're sharing something that is literally black people who probably are like, hey, Black Lives Matter, who are demonstrating that, that right now white lives matter. They said in that minute, this white life matters. That doesn't mean my life doesn't matter. That means I'm here to protect this one. Why can't they understand that Black Lives Matter doesn't mean
that any lives matter less than I don't understand why they don't understand. I don't understand why when you are a self-proclaimed feminist that you automatically fucking hate men. Yes. 100%.
You're polarizing.
You caught me.
Polarizing.
Well, listen, you caught me with my pants down. I fucking hate men. I have 3 boys, but I hate men just because I call myself a feminist. Peaceful does not support their narrative. They need to feel righteous and they're enduring ignorance. Right the fuck on. I don't know who you are.
I don't know who this is. I don't care who it is. I'm so happy. Oh, sorry.
Oh, it disappeared. There we go. You're absolutely right. Thank you. I don't know who you are, and you don't have to say it because this is anonymous for people who don't want to be.
This is not a place where we need to call people out. This is a place where I hope that people can come here and just honestly.
Yeah, this is I don't want to say this is a safe space because that sounds way too fucking white lives matter to say that. But this is a
and it also listen. I'm a therapist, so I just need to tell you that I say that often.
So, hold on, I'm gonna say this. I posted something the other day that definitely. I had a bunch of fucking things in my inbox. Okay, I had a bunch of things in my inbox.
And I'm like a child a little bit. I was like in your inbox.
Y'all know who you are. You're probably laughing. I know I look like shit. I know that I'm not the chick that's in the pictures with her ass hanging out that you're used to on fucking Instagram. But guess what? Important shit's fucking happening right now. Okay. So I posted the other day, prompted a bunch of people in my inbox. Hello, it is now the 3rd of June, 2020, and we live in a country where saying Black Lives Matter on social media can get you fired from your job. But there's still a man in the White House that is trying to silence the press and tear gas peaceful protesters for a photo op of him holding a Bible in front of a church where he's not even fucking welcome. That prompted a bunch of white people in my inbox, of course.
I don't understand. Because I am, okay, all right.
Because you're not.
Maybe why I don't understand.
We don't
maybe understand. Why we're a different kind of sensitive. Okay, so I was thinking about this the other day. Oh, it's Tara.
Oh, hi,
Tara. Yes.
That's it. That's my homegirl. That's like my wife, by the way, everybody.
Awesome. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're watching. I'm glad that you're participating and you're with us on this.
Participating in the conversation. I can't fucking see, so I put my glasses on. Sorry about that.
It is so all good. And I lost track of it.
That post prompted a bunch of white people in my inbox shouting at me.
Yeah.
So I don't know at this point, I'm not worried about your feelings. I don't care if you don't follow me on Instagram. I don't care if my opinion is a big mouth opinion of a privileged white person, if that's what you think. I am privileged for being white. I am. Okay?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to tell you something. I'm not going to show you because I can't pull that shit up right away. But I was thinking about this the other day because part of what I think is going on is my understanding of how lucky I am that I came out of this world white. My birth father
I was just going to say
black. He's not black. He's Portuguese, but if you look at him, he looks
dark
black.
features, right?
I could have easily come out with dark features. I could have easily have come out with dark skin. It was literally 50-50.
It was a crapshoot.
No, right. And so I started to think about that. And I was like, how different would my life be?
Your life would be very different.
Yeah. And it made me upset because I was like, that's fucked up because I know who I am as a person and my skin should not dictate whether or not my life is exactly the same way it is right now. I
told you, like, my racial ambiguity has been a strange thing in my fucking life. It's been a strange thing. When people ask what I am, I say American because that is the truth. You know what I mean? Like, that's the truth. I'm American. To me, just to figure out how to do this. I wanted to comment before. Sorry. Well done. At least you're not like, take out your butt.
Yeah. Seriously. Anyway, it took you ages.
Yeah, you have light skin and you have light eyes and you look like you're white.
Or at least Spanish, which is fine right now in certain areas. Sometimes I get mistaken for it, but I'm like, okay, people are cool with Spanish people apparently.
No,
I came out dark skin.
People in my area do not have a privilege for being Spanish. They are literally threatened to be deported. They are afraid of the police because they don't want ICE called on them. So that's not a privilege. It's definitely not. If you have dark skin and an accent, you are literally, and it doesn't matter if you've been here for 25 years. That is your biggest fear. Is somebody going to call the police and call ICE on me? Because that's the climate that this president has set. I'm going to say something else because we should probably close soon. I'm going to say something else.
I'm like, let's just go for 5 hours.
Yeah, I'm going to say something else real quick before we close, though. Okay. So a lot of people have asked me why we're not talking about people that are stuck at the border in cages right now and blaming Obama for that situation. And here's what I'm going to explain. Here's what I'm going to explain in the simplest terms that I can explain to you. It's wrong. It's wrong. I'm not going to fucking defend. I don't know why there is not still focus on that, why we lost our focus, because that is still really fucking important. There are still children in cages trapped at the border. As for Obama, Obama built those detention centers for people who were entering the country illegally. Trump used them to detain people that were seeking asylum. When somebody is seeking
and separate families,
this country legally, they are coming to this country. They are basically throwing their hands up in the fucking air and saying, I am in danger. Can you please protect me? We have always honored asylum in this country, and we are not honoring that anymore. And I don't know why we're not still talking about it. I don't know why we're not still talking about it. Now is not the time to talk about it. We're dealing with a different movement. We're dealing with a different animal. But if you do want to bring that up,
is it a different animal, or is it all the same animal?
It is all the same animal because it's racism. It's racism.
All racism. Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's all racism. Just like when there were countries that had nothing to fucking do with 9/11 that were put on a no-fly list when he first became president. They got put on a no-fly list. They had nothing to do with terrorism. There's no ties to any terrorist, association. But because they're Muslim, they were put on a no-fly list. That is against everything this country was supposed to stand for. We clearly don't fucking stand for that. I'm not saying ideally that is what we are supposed to be against. That is what Obama worked towards, people stopping that agenda. Now we've regressed. Now we've gone backwards. Everywhere that Obama took us, we've now fucking taken, like, we've actually back handspringed backwards.
Yeah. And because it's all fear-based. The whole fear of people are going to come here and take your everything. People are going to come here and take your everything. And you know what? People who barely have anything are terrified. They don't have any reason to be terrified, but they don't know that. They don't understand that. They're not educated enough to know that that's not the truth. So they're acting on their very real feelings when they see this propaganda brought to them. And
right, well, cut the shit. And I'm literally sick of white people telling me that I need to move out of Passaic because I'm white. I'm fucking sick of that too. I know that I am.
You don't need to fucking move out of Passaic because you're white. Like, why would you need to move out of Passaic because you're white? That's the dumbest reason.
Because I don't, first of all, when I go out at night, it's not because any one race makes me feel some kind of way. It's because men specifically will follow me. And I will tell you, I lived in Montclair and paid $3,000 a fucking month for rent, and I still got fucking followed home. It's still going to happen. Why I need to move out of here is because there's lack of fucking parking, number one.
Yes, oh my God, Jesus, for real.
There's no fucking parking in here. And number two, I
stole my stickers when I parked at your house.
Oh my gosh, I feel so bad for everybody that's like, I'm coming over to visit. I'm like, good luck. Because
have a nice walk.
We can't park in the church lot anymore. My friends probably ruined that by throwing liquor bottles in the fucking parking lot.
No way. You can't park in the church.
No.
All right, you gotta move. We gotta get you moved.
Right? All right, so there's no parking, and I have to walk up 3 flights of stairs. That's why I've got to fucking move. I'm paying way too much money to live somewhere where my friends can't park and I can't bring home groceries without it being annoying. I get followed by men everywhere I fucking go. That is not, I know we talked about that before. Like, guess what? That happens to me all the time. What happened at the ATM is nothing fucking new. When you're by yourself and you're a woman and people are definitely, because they were standing outside of a liquor store, you know that they were doing shots all fucking night. They were drunk and they were brazen and wanted to be on top of me.
It's not any different than going to a bar as a white woman and being accosted by white men who think that they are going to get a piece.
For 20 years. You know who I did not worry about? People, like, it's so fucking funny because there were bartenders there that worried about somebody of color that came in. I never worried about any specific race. And I have to tell you, all of the fucking problems I had at the bar that I worked at, you know, from seeing it, were from disgusting, racist, privileged white men that thought because I was standing behind a bar that I was somehow uneducated. Just because I'm people would say to me, "What's your real job?"
Taking your money, bitch.
Taking your shit right now behind this fucking bar. This is very real to me. This is very real. Me
making more money tonight than you do in a day. Just saying.
I mean, way more money than you fucking do. And I have a $3,000 a month apartment. You live in your mom's basement and you have lice flying out of your fucking goatee. Okay. Leave me the fuck alone. Get out of here. But like, you know, like I dealt with more shit from white men in my life than anybody that had a different color skin than me. Anybody.
Same. And the only, you know, people are talking now, again, it's like a knee-jerk reaction. I'm really good at trying to find people at where they're at because I know I can't bring them to any other place if I don't meet them there. They're going to be resistant. They're going to be. That's how therapy works. Like if you come into my office and you give me your history and I see trauma, I have to meet you at your trauma. I can't try to meet you someplace else. We have to go back to the trauma and I have to meet you there. And and so I feel like it's the same way. I'm like, there's a lot of people out there that are ignorant and have been taught and programmed, and it is not their fault that they were programmed that way. No, this is why I try to bring them to like, all right, listen, let's talk about your programming. Let's talk about where it came from. Like, I'm not going to blame you for it. I'm not going to blame you, but like,
and it's okay to say I was raised this way, and I'm so sorry that this is the agenda that I was raised with, but I'm willing to listen now.
Right. But it takes so long to get there because you have to infiltrate. Like you have to you have to say like, all right, so let's talk about it. Like, what are the words you heard when you were growing up? I mean, this is literally how therapy goes for me. What words did you hear growing up? What emotion? And it's
why you're a better person than me. I say it all the time. My best friend is a better person than me. You are way better of a person than me. I tried your approach and I had a bunch of dudes trying to convince me in my inbox that I was incorrect. And
which is fine. It's totally fine. You're not gonna reach everybody. That's what I had to learn early in my in my therapy is that there's some people that you're literally just trying to plant a seed and hope it grows, and then they go on and you don't know what happens. Like you just hope that.
Like you said, though, I do think that's important. Planting this, which is why I haven't shut up. I hope that if anything that I'm doing is planting a seed, and maybe 2 years from now, you're going to sit there. No, your neighborhood is super sketch for women. Yes.
Sorry, I missed that one. I was like, fuck, it's important.
Oh my gosh, I didn't tell the bug story. I feel like I texted you.
Yeah.
This is my life. Hold on. So
okay. We're going to do this.
We're really quick because we're going to tell the bug story before we sign off. Because
I feel like today is a day we could talk for 7 hours, and it must be
fair. Okay. So I'm going to tell the bug story. I'm not going to lie. I had somebody over my apartment that had a penis. Okay. That night we went to the store. This is why I thought of the bug story. That night we went to the store. We went to the 24/7 Mart that when I was, so I had an ear infection. This is like in January, ear infection, sinus infection. I was put on promethazine, and don't forget I'm on 5 other medications aside from the promethazine and codeine. So I was like fucking trashed one night, like in January. Was like, I'm going to get cigarettes. And my friend that was with me, who's literally 7 feet tall, was like, well, you're not going alone and you're fucking wasted. So like, I'll walk with you. And I tripped in front of this convenience store and was too embarrassed for like months to go back. Because when I say I tripped, like, I mean, I tripped.
Oh, did you fall because you were having a meltdown about burgers? Was it that kind of fall?
It was similar to that kind of fall. I was so like, because I hadn't smoked a cigarette like in a couple of days because I was so sick. I had cigarettes in my hand. I was like, fuck non-smoking, and walked out of there with my cigarette in mouth, and fucking tripped over a grate and went flying. People running over to me. Definitely the person in the inside on the security camera. Like, what the fuck is wrong with that lady? Wasn't even.
You know what I would have done, though, right? You know what I would have done.
I got up and I was like, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah, but you know what I would have said, right?
What?
That's God telling you don't need those fucking cigarettes.
Going
for being crazy about the cigarettes.
So every time I go to this fucking store, something bad happens now in my brain. Okay. So I'm walking back with my male friend this night, the bug night, and I hear somebody behind us going, tch, tch. I don't even know like what the face they were making, but it was definitely them trying to call me as I'm walking with somebody with a penis. And I kept turning around, and every time I turned around, the guy went like this.
Now, wow, that's such an incredible way to summon a woman.
Totally, exactly what's going to make. He's literally hollering out his best friend's ride on the passenger side, except for you don't have a fucking ride, and you're following me on my tail, making creepy noises. Okay, like I don't
can't believe he's not your husband right now.
I know. No ring. What the fuck? So finally, 3rd time, I turned around like the psycho that I am, and I said, "You're making me really fucking uncomfortable. Can you please stop doing that because I don't fucking know you?" And the guy shamefully put his head down, and the person I was walking with was like, "Are you fucking crazy? Because you know I'm going to get my ass kicked and you're not," basically. But he tried telling me all night, though, that didn't happen. And I was like, no, that happened. It happened right in front of you. I don't turn around like a maniac and lash out at people that aren't making me feel unsafe. Like I felt unsafe. And if you said it, if I told you and you said something, we'd be having a fight right now. When I say it, that person's like, well, now I feel like a major creep. And he walked away. Okay. All night he tried to tell me that didn't happen. Segue to 4 o'clock in the morning.
I have so many feelings. I have so many feelings and so many thoughts.
So this person is now passed out after I got into a fight with him because I told him how fucking pissed I was that he like ignored my feelings on this person. Okay, he's sleeping. I am not. I'm having an anxiety attack at 4 o'clock in the morning. I could not get rid of it. I got up to splash water on my face, come back in my bedroom, sit on my bed, and a fucking bug, literally like that big, okay? It was one of those like 1,000-leggers that have like the little things on the front of their face. Zoom across
I'm seeing it. Like you do this, and I'm like, Fuck that
You
bug.
know what I'm talking about.
You
know what I'm talking about. Okay? I don't care what you say to me. If you look at this and say, oh, those things are harmless. There's no harmless bug in my fucking house. I screamed. I am not like you. I screamed so fucking loud. I don't know how. I live in Passaic. That's why nobody called the police.
Oh, that's so sad. Okay.
So I lived in Passaic. That's why nobody called the fucking police. I screamed, jumped up in the air. This person still sleeping. Bug zooms past his head. Now I'm screaming. I'm like, get up! He literally told me it didn't happen. There's no bug, and that he was going back to bed.
Strike two, bitch.
Strike two.
I mean.
He told me I was imagining things twice in one fucking night. Okay. In the middle of a panic attack. So now I'm fucking, yes, it was a funny yes, it was.
They're of hell.
So I fucking, now with him on the bed and a bad back and moving my bed out, sweeping out my bedroom floor, because as you know, my vacuum is broken. So I'm sweeping out my bedroom floor. I'm picking up. I'm psycho to the next level. At 6 o'clock in the morning, I believe I texted you and said, I had to leave my home because there was a bug in my room and a man that doesn't give a shit. I was like so fucking angry, between the bug. I have not found the bug, by the way. So every time I get in my bed, I dramatically hurl. This is my thought. I do think when I did move the bed with a person on it. I think I might have squished it because that's where it went. I keep telling myself that's what happened. It went like underneath and I moved the fucking bed and I think I squished it to death. Either that or the ferrets during playtime at like noon probably annihilated it. That's what I keep telling myself. But fucked up crazy me, anytime a piece of my hair falls out and hits my leg, I'm screaming and jumping up in the air, pulling my sheets off the bed just to fucking sit down. I'm a fucking psychopath. Like, I can't. And the fact that a man told me 2 times within like a 6-hour time period that I was imagining things, I'm like, this is why you're the crazy ferret lady. This is why you have ferrets and not human. That's why I have ferrets and not human.
Exactly. And it comes down to, again, like basic concepts, I feel like are super important to talk about because the basic concept behind a lot of things a lot of them are the same. So the basic concept here was women are histrionic and they are not being, like they're just too much and they exaggerate and all of this. And it's like, dude, you know what the problem is? There was a fucking bug here and I couldn't handle it and you didn't handle it. That's what happened.
He went back to sleep in my damn bed. He's ferret food. They killed it.
I hope Tara made you feel better.
I hope that you're right. I really do think that my fucking idiot strength, like I had crazy woman strength, like you're in a, like how jackets go fucking bananas and you're like, how does that little tiny human cause all that destruction? I'm a tiny human and I hurled my fucking bed and I'm pretty sure that it was probably under there because I stripped the bed, sheets and everything with him on it. Like I like tossed him up in the air. I don't fucking care. Find it. But yeah,
I don't blame you.
Completely hysterical. That's the message that I took from that is I'm completely hysterical and that's how you take women.
Yep. So, we exaggerate everything. Everything is way more emotional than it needs to be. No, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, they're not handling shit.
Listen, I handled it. Now it's handled. It's handled. You ain't come. I'm sure that's the last time you're going to be in my bed. So it's handled.
Yeah. That sucks. Well, it's just a shitty situation.
Don't make me feel crazy 2 times in like 6 hours and think that like I'm going to be okay with that.
Listen, okay, but think about it. It's like if you care about a person on any level, and like
that's what's annoying.
I try not to expect me from other people. So I try not to be like, okay, so even though if I'm having a one-night stand, I care about their life. Not everybody cares about the life of a one-night stand. Like I try to really meet people at that place where maybe they don't have the same empathy that I do. I get it. But it's just like, you're in my fucking house. Right. You're in my house and I am distressed. Why are you not even pretending
to give a shit
that you care?
You literally said, you're being crazy, go to sleep. And I was like, I'm leaving the house. I literally said at this point, I'm leaving the house, my own house.
Yeah. Also, you're lucky I'm not crazy because it'd probably kill you if I was actually crazy.
I'm starting to feel like there's a possibility that I might smother you with one of the pillows that you're laying on. So I need to get up out of here right now. And I went like to Walgreens and walked around aimlessly for like 2 hours because I did just try not to stab my mistake in the fucking face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why I'm single, reason number 900.
Yeah, all the more evidence, you know, again, like and I've said it before, I'll say it again. When I first started counseling, I had the greatest mentor that I could at that time because I was so young. She was so open with me. She was really, really honest. And she was like, I'm just going to tell you something. If you're not single right now, you will probably be single for most of your entire career because you are going to hear the worst. You're going to see the worst. You are going to know the worst. And so you are going to become jaded because you're not going to find a lot of evidence in the other.
No, I've yet to see. I've not really seen evidence. But the problem is too with nice guys, I will have to say, I will fucking chew you up like a piece of gum and spit you out. So at this, it's true.
All right, listen,
not on purpose. Not on purpose.
Okay.
I don't do it on purpose.
I know, but I am a therapist, so I do need to ask, like, what do you want? What do you want? Right now, I am Noah, and you are Allie. What do you want?
Noah let Allie be a crazy bitch. So there.
I don't care. I want to know what you want.
I know what I want. I don't want to be in. I either need to be in an open relationship or I need to be like not in a relationship at all. I need to fly my fucking crazy freak flag and be left alone while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Let me fly my freak flag.
I need to be alone, or I need to be in a relationship where the person is not here. So like I could marry Gavin because he likes to travel, so he can go be traveling and I can also be like loved but also not.
Gavin, are you listening?
Not with a person.
Tara is texting me. I can't look at this right now because we're going to sign off. Okay, we said we were not going to be crazy people and we totally did that, which is fine.
But you know what? We weren't like super crazy people. I feel like we were
reasonable.
Yeah. And again, like we shouldn't silence ourselves. And I feel like if we were to like create a parameter here, we would have.
I don't want to.
We would have definitely silenced ourselves in some way. So I'm glad we didn't do that.
Definitely. Yeah. Like, so yeah. I mean, I'm going to go fly my freak ferret flag. Maybe have another cider. I miss you, bestie.
I'm gonna go watch. What? Oh my god! I finished Outer Banks. I already watched Fuller House.
Damn. I can't even pretend to watch that.
Oh, Charlie and I binged it in one night. We cried. It was great.
I know. Oh, wait. See, one more thing I have to talk about. So Hallmark, I called them out because they posted a thing about how Black Lives Matter, how there's staff that are Black that matters, and everything else, and I had to comment on it because, and I don't normally do stuff like this, but I felt like I needed to say something. So I asked them, do the Black lives in the gay and lesbian community matter to you? Because you threw them under the bus. And how much do you want to make a bet that when I post this, that I'm going to scroll downwards and I'm going to see a lot of hate that you posted how you support the Black Lives Matter movement, and you're not going to say anything. You can't drop a bomb and walk away.
Yeah.
No response from Hallmark. I sure as fuck went and looked. There were well over 1,000 comments of people against them posting that. So
here's the thing, like, and this is
Hallmark.
This is my problem with the posting. My problem with posting being a thing. And I have a lot of people.
Walk away.
I have a lot of people like on my timeline on Facebook that are right. And I hate to tell them that they're right because they're usually the people who are.
Yeah, you're talking about people that are signaling. There are a lot of people that are
like, yeah, like they have some shitty opinions, but they're right when they're like, a lot of people are posting stuff to make sure that they're relevant. A lot of people are posting things to make sure that they don't get targeted. And I'm like, I do get that. And I do believe that 100%.
But there are a lot of people that are not.
However, our job as human beings is just like anything else. Whatever we see does not have to be our experience. We need to talk our experience. We need to talk to other people to find their experience. And I think, and not that I want to do this live right now, but I think maybe we should, you and I, try to bring somebody on that's a person of color and talk to them next time.
I would love to do that. I have plenty of people that I can call up.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. I'm 100% down for that.
I just right now, like, I feel like it's a good thing.
Yeah, let's open conversation. Let's do it with somebody who can speak from experience instead of us two white bitches shouting at people. No, you're better at than I am. But I will say this. I'm not going to drop a bomb and then I'm going to walk away. If I see something, I'm going to talk it out. If you feel that I am wrong in what I said, we're going to talk about it. If you feel as a person of color what I said is like tone deaf in any way, I want you to fucking tell me. I do not want to drop bombs and walk away. I want to talk about this.
Yeah.
So,
and like really, I even saw some people today that were sharing like the information on the autopsy of George Floyd and that he had some drugs in his system. And like,
doesn't matter.
Like, I understand what that invokes. Like, I understand what that invokes in a person. You start to wonder, like,
but he didn't do anything in that time period. That
again, like my mind always 100% goes to like, how does every person perceive this? And how do I bring them to where they need to be?
When the person that ate bath salts and was trying to eat people, the white person that was literally biting people and eating people, how did they deal with him? Did they deal with him?
Nobody gave a shit. They were like, that person's crazy. Nobody cared. The white community did not embrace that person as a white person. They were like, hey, crazy drug addict, because that's a whole other
we dealt with him.
That's a whole other part of humanity. Drug addicts are also not who we are.
He was a white drug addict, so they dealt with him differently. So I'm sorry.
Of course. And there's going to be a million arguments.
That's like saying
a million arguments. But my thought on it, again, like my thought on it was, okay, fine. But if that was your loved one and they had an addiction problem, we don't know this. We don't know this about him. If they had an addiction problem, what would your solution be? You'd want them to go to rehab, right? You don't want them to die on the street. You don't want them to die because of a possible faulty, counterfeit bill. That's like
you know how many times I got counterfeit bills in the fucking boulevard? And I would hand them back to the person, literally me on camera going, now you're going to give me something that's real. I didn't fucking threaten to take out a bat. I didn't threaten to call the police. I was like, you have the opportunity now to give me either real money or your credit card.
Yeah, exactly. Like anything. Like if somebody gives you a credit card that doesn't...
At the end of the night.
Right. Like if somebody gives you a credit card that doesn't go through, you're like, do you have another method of payment?
Right. Like stopping addiction. One that works.
Right. Like you don't die because of it.
No.
And I think there's a lot of people that are confused on that. And
there's
I don't know. My hope again is to just take people who are way the fuck over here. And it's no fault of their own. I really can't stress enough that I know that people are programmed. And it is not their fucking fault.
Some people it is, but how long are we going to do that? How long are we going to...
You know what? No, honestly, Paige, like, as a therapist, I cannot blame a person when they come in their office. I cannot say, hey, you're 45 years old. Why the fuck didn't you figure this out before? That's totally insensitive.
I'm open to people coming out and saying, I screwed up. I did.
Right. Okay. I'm open to like picture this. Picture my life as this. Okay. I'm in Florida and I get a court-ordered case of a 55-year-old who has been violent and who is addicted to a substance of some sort. They are also like, they're just full of
demons.
Of demons, but they're full of what they were raised in. They were raised in a small community. This was not weird in that community, is not okay now. I cannot sit in front of them and say everything you've done is wrong. I'm not going to get them there.
No, I totally get it. And this is
I'm going to have to say, like, what happened to you? What were the words that were said to you? Like, I'm going to have to be soft with them in order to bring them there. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like if we can find those people and be soft enough with them that they can understand on a human level, we're not getting to the human level.
Right.
Then we maybe have a better chance at figuring out how to do this.
Listen, I tried your method. I was pissed off in 3 days and had a bunch of people explaining why they were racist.
But anybody who follows you knows what they know. What you're
going to get back from. I don't even know what the fuck you're thinking.
Yeah, like they're not coming to you for sensitivity. They're coming to you for a battle. Because they know.
No, I think that people think because, which is weird, because some of these people have known me my whole life. They like think that they can change my mind. Like they think that they can tell me so many times their experience that's going to somehow change my mind. But here's the thing, like I'm speaking from experience and I'm speaking from literally being in it. Like when the cop messaged me, I said, you are speaking from a place of privilege as a cop in a suburban neighborhood. When the shit hits the fan, I'm in Passaic, okay? I'm going to be the one who has to walk outside and worry about getting hit with a firebomb.
Yeah.
You're a cop. You might have to worry about that all the time. Somehow in the suburbs, I doubt it. But I'm living in this shit.
And even at that moment, that is you trying to bring that person where they are, where you are.
Really let them know, like, listen, I'm not some white woman speaking from an ivory tower. I live in a big city. When the shit hits the fan, I'm going to deal with it. Yeah. I'm going to deal with it.
And that's where I think our power is. Honestly, I think our power is in our ability to talk to other people, our ability to relate to other people. You're not going to get everybody. I had to learn that very, very young in my, therapy hood was that you can't help everybody. Not everybody is ready. Not everybody's going to be there. And so you do the best that you can, but you let them go and you concentrate on the people who are ready, willing, or even just listening. And that's our focus. Our focus needs to be like, we need to find all the people who are on the fence and bring them to the other side. And then we go for the stragglers.
Right. Well, and we need to come armed with facts. I think that that's a big thing too, is that these are people that are coming with things that are not true. They're coming with a narrative that Fox News is
telling you something. That thing we talked about last week, that thing I sent to you, viral in an unbelievable way. Over 200,000 shares. They're on the news everywhere.
I'm glad.
Because it was an open, honest narrative. It was I'm
so glad that that's what happened, because I thought you were going a different, and I even explained to you what I thought was going to happen. I was like, please tell me that some white woman did not what I think is about to happen, because that's when my brain automatically goes negative. And I'm so glad that went the other way.
She's like a white woman like us who's just like, like totally just being like sensitive, like seeing a person and being like, I hope your life is great. Please tell me your life is great.
But that's not what happened.
Right. Exactly. But it's so amazing. They've been on the news. Yeah. They've been on the news. They're like everywhere. And I'm just like so overwhelmingly happy that that's what happened.
That's the way that went. I was a little concerned that story was going a different way.
No, because it was also, and I didn't know this, it was the second time that he had come out, and it was also her regular guy. Yeah, like she knew him.
She knew him. Right. I was totally going, I went in my head, I have to stop doing that. I have to stop being so negative. I've got to stop going in my head where
Well, I thought about it today. Like when I went to go get my grocery store pickup, the person who was handling everything, she was African-American. And I was like, now is not the time to be like, how was your experience? Like, I knew not to do it. I was just like, I'm going to be normal. Like, I'm just going to be normal with her, and I'm just going to not be hostile like an asshole.
About that just goes to show you where our place is in society. We do come from a place of privilege. You had to think about that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that woman was probably thinking, let this not be a fucking asshole that watches Fox News. So, like, your brains went 2 different fucking places.
Yep.
And 1,000%. Listen, I don't know if I told you, but like 2 days after the protesting started, I went to walk to Dollar General. There were 4 black men standing outside of a house, and I was walking with my like green bag and my fucking Guess purse, like Sophia from the Golden Girls that I am, walking. And all 4 of those men went like this to like let me walk through, and made it a point to not say anything. And they probably thought in their heads, let me not say anything because we are living in fucked up times. And if I say hello, she might turn around and scream at me. And I'm thinking in my head, I don't want these guys to think I'm scared of them, because I'm truly not. Right. Because they dispersed the way that they did. So we both went to different places in our mind.
And again, like, 60 years after desegregation, we are still in a place where we cannot interact with each other in a normal way.
And listen, I walked past, like the asshole that I am, like I walked past them, I was like, hey guys, and just kept walking, because you don't have to say hello back, but just to let you know, I'm not scared of you. Like, that's not, you don't have to
know what's happening here.
You don't have to disperse like that because I'm walking through. Don't make room for the fucking asshole with her purse hanging like a dickhead walking past you. Like, I'm a normal human being. Hi. Like, they had to be afraid to say hello to me because they didn't know what my reaction was going to be. So my reaction was to say hello and keep walking. And like, I'm not going to stop and tell you why I'm not an asshole, but like,
like everybody gather around. Let me tell you why I'm just going to walk through.
The lady on her pedestal. Gather around. No, that's not what I was going to do. I just did want to let them know, like, you didn't have to do that. Like, hi.
Yeah.
I'm going home. You hang out.
I mean, again, that's like our thing. Like, as white people, we're just kind of like, we want you to know that we're not pieces of shit.
But we don't want to, right?
Like, we don't want to like exist. Like, we just want to exist. How do we let you know that we want to exist?
Well, just when you're walking by and saying, oh, I think I conveyed that. Like, you didn't have to be so dramatic. But I get why you are. Like, hello, I'm normal. I'm walking. You're normal. I don't know why you do.
And you hope that will be enough. And I think that's like what hurts me is that I feel like it's like we can do that. We can do that to those people, but the next asshole that comes by,
turn around and start screaming at them and say, "Why are you staring at my house? Why are you howling at me?" Like something stupid. So I just wanted to like say hi and walk by and be like, "Listen, I get it. I get why you can't say hi back."
That's why I get so mad at people that are like, it's not systematic. And I'm like, are you insane?
Are you ridiculous? Like, well, the first step in realizing there's a, like we have to realize, I'll accept that there's a fucking problem. I'll accept that there was a difference. I'll accept that my brain went to a different place your brain did. Not the one you thought it was going to go to, but I get why you're prepared for it to go that way. I get it. I fucking get it. The Karens of the world are ruining this for a lot of people too. All right.
Listen, can we talk for just one? I know I don't care if we talk for 7 hours. I honestly don't give a shit. But like, can we talk about this as an embarrassing comparison? So women are now getting upset at being called a Karen or a Becky. Okay. But they can't also understand racism.
Shit when they called the black woman Shaniqua, they didn't give a shit when they fucking, said something negative towards an Asian person, called a Spanish person Maria. You didn't give a fuck then, did you? That didn't jump on your fucking radar, you scumbags. I'm sorry. You know what's funny? Have you ever been accused of being a Karen, Vanessa? Because I have not.
I have not. No.
No, you know why? Because we're not fucking assholes. We're not fucking Karens. We're not Karens and we're not Beckys. Yeah. And we're not
accused of much, to be honest, because I really try to be nice to people. A lot of
fucking things, but being a Karen, being stupid, that really still bothers me.
Even being called a white girl, I'm just kind of like, well, I mean, I am.
Like, you're right.
But like, you're not like
I'm not offended by something calling me that, and I get
why. Yeah, exactly. Like I
get why you're calling me that.
Exactly.
So, calm your tits, okay? You've been saying racial slurs for how many generations before you? Calm your tits, Karen. This is why you're called Karen. Do you want to speak to the manager? The manager's busy dealing with.
I want to speak to the manager of racism and let him know I'm not it.
Decided that it was okay for white women to speak against us. Please speak to your manager. My khakis are getting dirty over here. I can't.
Well, it's so widespread and it's so deep that, like, honestly, like, and I said this today in a chat and I meant it. I was like, I am so overwhelmed today, and maybe because of the moon and maybe all the whatever, that I've never more felt like I need to be away from people than I've ever, like, and I'm not that way. I'm social. I usually love to do stuff, but I'm so hurt by the vibe. And I'm like, desert island,
I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you for that whatsoever. You need to do what's best for your mental health. I know from my mental health that I need to be a big mouth right now. That's like, and it's not just for my mental health. Like, my friends are being shot in the fucking streets.
Yeah.
We're about to become a fucking military occupied country. Just think about that for 1 second. I can't. So for your mental health, you need to do one thing. My mentality is so driven right now that I can't look away. I can't. I have to.
And this is why we all have different personalities. This is why we all, you know what I mean? Like, this is the beauty.
There's nothing wrong with what I'm doing.
Again. Okay, so here, we're both white and we're both different. And there's nothing fucking wrong with that. Like, I cannot understand. Like, people can't wrap their heads around different is not bad. Different is beautiful. Different, we're all different because every single one of us is an individual. Holy shit.
I'm so glad that I have had the experiences that I've had, and I've been surrounded by the people that I've been surrounded with, but I know that that's not everybody else's experience. And I have to accept that. I understand that there is a difference between me and somebody that grew up white in rural Kansas than me.
Or rural New Hampshire and moved to New Jersey and was like, holy shit, what is this? What the fuck is this?
I'm sorry I was one of your, like, first friends in this.
No, you know what? No, it was great. And this, again, this was part of that post and part of my... And again, like, that person who doesn't have the same perspective was never disrespectful to me. She was never, like, you know, awful to me, but it was very much like, I mean, how are you going to know what you don't know? And I get that. You don't know what you don't know. You have been in this tiny, small town that everybody's good to each other. And so you feel you'll be good to anybody. But I know that to be different. And then I left that small town and was like, holy wow. Like, the world is way different than my tiny bubble.
And it was like, oh my God, look at these wackadoodles that have big mountains.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, listen, I went straight from the fucking, well, I was in Massachusetts. I can't
even imagine what you thought, like, coming to an Evil Girl show. It was probably like, this is like...
Honestly, I'm going to tell you, that was probably the most comfortable place for me because I went from, so I grew up, like, in between Massachusetts and New Hampshire. So Massachusetts, obviously, way more diverse.
Yeah.
New Hampshire, super white, overly white, like whitest white. Like, we can count on our fingers how many people of color we've ever known in our lives prior to when we left there. So super extra white. So then I moved back to Massachusetts, and, you know, again, I'm like in the Spanish ghetto, but, like, I know Spanish people, so this does not feel weird to me. Like, Dominicans and Puerto Ricans are also my people. We're good. Like, it's totally fine. I moved to New Jersey, and I'm like,
what the fuck?
What the fuck is going on? Like, who are these people? What's going on? Like, I had never seen a Hasidic Jew. I didn't even know what they were. Like, I didn't know what their religion was. I didn't know anything about it. Nothing. I saw one and I was like, what
the fuck is going on here right now?
Yeah, and it wasn't like in a discriminatory way, but I was just like, I don't understand. Like I'm seeing something and it's a person. Tell me about what this is
happening, right? What is with the little yarmulke? What's with the
exactly
in front of their face? Can we explain to me?
Exactly. And so that was my first inkling that I was like, wow, the sheltering.
New Hampshire anymore.
Yeah, well, but it was just kind of like the sheltering of anybody who doesn't live in an area like this is real, like super extra real. And it is the majority. The majority of people don't live in a melting pot.
I had to realize when I moved up to Pennsylvania with my mom. Okay, like because back then the Poconos, it was like some people from New York and New Jersey. It was all like Italian people from Brooklyn and like, you know, like people from this area. They were like, I'm getting out of Jersey. Shit's crazy around here. And they fucking wanted cheaper housing. And then they realized they had to commute for an hour and a half, whatever. But I had to realize when I met like the natives of Pennsylvania that like, holy shit, you are not in New Jersey anymore. And these people did not grow up with diversity. And it is probably not cool to be openly bisexual. You probably should not announce your diversity. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like I was like, I'm not in New Jersey anymore. I just went. I'll never forget. I was driving with a friend and she opened her glove compartment and there was a gun in the glove compartment.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Like I've been there.
My dad still has at least 3 rifles in the pickup truck. So you rode in the truck, there were rifles. That's what your life was.
Well, I grew up when you opened the glove compartment. You were in the middle of a drug deal that you just realized. Like you didn't know you were in a drug deal, and now you did. You're like, fuck. I just put myself in a stupid situation. So I opened it and I was just like, ah, and like closed it. I was like, what the fuck is that? And she's like, it's legal. Calm down. And I was like, what do you mean it's legal? I'm like, what does that?
Yeah. The culture differences. And that's like,
what does that mean?
I feel like there was a time where everybody knew that. I wasn't there in that time because I'm 32 years old. But
from white people.
I feel like there was a time where people were like, okay. Like I feel like people used to understand. They used to understand that like your different area meant that you had different.
I knew that when I like went to Florida. Like I did know that people in Florida were different.
Right. But we've lost that. Now we have like, now it seems like there's a societal expectation of people to just fucking magically know shit. And so now we're mad at everybody because they don't magically know
for not knowing things. Like I said, I was like, are we about to do like have a drug deal happen here? Why is there a gun in your glove compartment? And it was like
a lot of people are doing it though. They're not meeting people where they're at. And also the people who are trying to be met because they need to be met. They're like very one-dimensional, are not able to admit that and just say like, it doesn't mean anything about me. It doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It just means that I don't know. And that's okay.
It's okay. Like get on Twitter for 5 minutes. You're going to see how different.
I can't go on Twitter for 5 minutes. So I can't put that. I cannot put that on somebody who lives in a place.
You want to have fucking shock to somebody's system.
Sorry, I can't do it.
Open a Twitter account and have the resistance follow you. You'll be screamed at.
Yeah, no. I can't even go on Twitter, so I can't make anybody go on Twitter. But
it was a joke. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I just want people to just say out loud again. Like this was my call to action. My call to action was not. You don't have to say Black Lives Matter. If that, for some reason, because of your programming, makes it uncomfortable, I'm willing to meet you at where you're at. Great. So where you're at. Is where you're at a place that you can say racism exists and it's wrong. Say it out loud. Say racism exists
and it's
still
wrong.
And it's wrong. Meet me there. And the people who can't meet me there, I'm like, damn, like you're that like, shit is really deep.
Yeah. Deep. It's sad. It's like
it's not their fault. You know, programming, we all have it. We all fucking have programming.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it takes a lot to change it. A lot. Because it's comfortable to be programmed. It is not comfortable to be reprogrammed.
Well, it's not comfortable for anybody to like, listen, when I realized that I was maybe the toxic thing in some people's lives, like where I was just like, why are we always fighting? Why is it? Oh, wait a minute. That might have been me.
Like,
I was like,
ugly.
That is not fun to realize. Like, so,
right.
But like, once you get, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, maybe I was the person that triggered bad behavior in other people. Maybe they were bad. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you don't know, but it sucks to realize that sometimes you are the toxicity and step outside and accept that that's okay. You fucked up. Like, I fucked up so much in my 40 years on this earth that I probably should have been revoked chances, but I haven't. And I still have.
I said the same thing. Like,
no,
listen,
like
my programming was not great, and then I had to reprogram myself. Right. And sometimes it didn't happen because it was so far ingrained in me, and it took me a really fucking long time. Like,
yeah.
So
I think because with you, like, you made me realize like a lot of things. Like, well, are you uncomfortable with this because of this? And I'm like, no. And then I would think about it, and I'm like, the next day, I'm like, so you know that thing we talked about?
Yeah.
Might have been me.
Right. Because we all do it, and it sucks. It sucks to admit that, like, I wasn't right. I mean, and there's still some strong beliefs that I have that I know are not popular, but my feeling in them is based good. So I'm like, it's okay. Like, it's okay. And I don't have to tell people, and I don't have to convince people.
You don't have to explain yourself, and you don't have to think a certain way. Like, I know I'm a hard person to say things to. Like, that might be, like, you know,
I'm a big believer in protesting as good, but I also do believe that a protest has a place. And that you're not going to be heard if you're not in the place where people can hear you. And that's part of my therapy thing, being like, well, I could stand up and I could therapy everybody, but those people aren't going to be here. I have to make people want it. I have to bring people to it. I have to be the light that beacons them, and then I have their attention. And so then I give them the information.
Well, listen, nerds out there everywhere, you're not this big of a nerd yet, but nerds out there everywhere will say, like, I feel like I'm the Crowley, like, I'm like the king of hell, or like, okay, I'm sorry, this is the comparison. So God has a sister, okay? You're God. I'm the sister. I'm the darkness. They call her the darkness. That's who my ferret is named after. I'm Amara, and you are God. Like, you're the good, and I might be the... But she has come and shown people, like, yes, there is evil in me, but there's also good. And, like, you have that little bit in you that people might not agree with, and it might be the evil opinion to some, but it's not necessarily evil. Yes. That's our friendship. Yeah.
Every week.
Not in this friendship. Don't worry.
Yes. Well, no, every week. Okay. And so here, I'm about to get weird. So every week... aside from last week, I missed it because I forgot. But every week I do what's called Koya. It's like a spiritual, like, dance-ish thing. Like, it's just something I love doing it. It feels great. It's very therapeutic. So part of it is dancing with your shadow and really, like, looking at the dark parts of yourself and embracing them, not like saying that they're wrong, but embracing them and being like, why are you here? How can I bring you into the light? Like, how do I make this part of me that I'm ashamed of come out and be beautiful? And it's like the most amazing experience ever.
Listen, I wish all of the Karens and Beckys of this world would do that dance. And I'm not forgetting you, Chad, with your AK in the back.
Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. Speaking of Chad.
Oh, it's always the people are like, the white women are called, like, you know, Karen and Becky. There is no fucking question that the dudes are named Chad. I have not met one Chad that I get on with, like, well, like, that Chad is like, you have a big mouth.
Yeah.
He definitely has a pickup truck and a small penis. Back. We've been on for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Stop thinking about all the Chads that you know that have sucked.
Yeah.
Your name I have really bad luck with is Shane. Dear Shanes of the world. I know. Unpopular, but I've met a lot of white shitty Shanes.
Yeah.
Most of them had a
So
penis
weird.
this
See,
big.
I can think off the top of my head of three that are good, but I also have not questioned them about their beliefs. So they may not be great.
I bring that out in everybody. Like, you are not hiding from me, you
Yeah. Well, these are people like I grew up with and then maybe lost touch or, you know, so like they're immortalized in time as the Shane that I knew, not the Shane that I know today or maybe would know today.
Chad and Shane are in their pickup trucks, and they are definitely not liking us for our feminism views. They are not liking me for my bisexuality. My favorite question lately, we really do have to close because I have to pee.
I know. I just,
listen, let me just tell you, white men, what my least favorite question has become. It used to be like, so you like chicks? Do you want to have a threesome? That used to be the status quo of every like white dude that wants to get. So you want to have a threesome? You're bisexual? Let's go have a threesome. No, I'm good. Just because I'm bisexual doesn't mean I'm hopping in bed with you and my friend. Like,
it doesn't mean I want it all at once.
Right. Like, not mean right. Not mean I was designed for your entertainment. I'm not here as a circus animal. Like, cut it out. But my new favorite thing is, have you ever been with a black man? No.
The amount of times I have heard that
so many times in the last like week or so that I am ashamed for you white people. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed.
Yeah. I've been asked that so many times in my life. My answer is always, I'm not gonna fucking tell you that because I can tell that you have an agenda.
Well, so here's what I say. Yes, I have. No, you cannot ask me questions, just like you cannot ask me questions about the women I've been in bed with. You cannot ask me about anyone I've been in bed with. It's not your fucking business. If I choose to tell you about my experiences in bed with anybody else, that is my fucking choice.
Yeah. So, fuck. Exactly. Like, it's not your business. And if you think that this is your business because you're going to judge me on it,
judge me all you want.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's why I don't tell, like, because I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to leave you to address your fucking demon. Because if it's that important, walk on. Like, walk on.
Well, I know, listen, I don't think it's like they're asking me out of curiosity. Like,
well, so what are they? What, like, what's their agenda?
Been with a black man, and it's like an accusatory tone. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Like, why? That. Because they want to judge you because you've been with a black man.
Like, first of all, like, if you even know me, then you know that I've dated outside of my race. That is the dumbest fucking question that you could possibly fucking ask me. Like, that's fucking ignorant and it's dumb. Okay, are you going to ask me if his dick was bigger than yours? I don't even have to look at another fucking race's dick to know that yours is small because you're asking me this question. Like, for real, you are asking me this question. So I don't even have to question whether or not you have a small penis.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm just going to say right there, I can guarantee that women, millions, billions of women have been asked that same question. And so therefore, if people want to believe if people want to believe that racism is not systematic, is not ingrained, does not exist, guess what? Every woman has been asked if they were with a black man for no other reason other than to be judged.
Yep. And I don't care. But the thing is that you have to understand that I don't fucking, if you know me as a person, then you know that, like, the answer to that question. You know that I have.
Yes.
I've about
absolutely.
Get the fuck out of here, stupid ass questions. Yes, it was bigger than yours because you fucking asked that question.
Right. Like, you have to ask, it's because yours is not big.
Inside of you. It now just scribbled.
Again, I mean, and not to get into another discussion, but like that's a whole other fucking issue of like men's insecurity and how it affects them in so many absurd ways.
So fucking weird to even ask me that. It's weird. You're being weird.
Yeah,
it's so like weird. You're being weird when you were like, oh, like, you want to have a threesome? Like, I didn't sleep with you before. I didn't sleep with you before I admitted that I was bisexual.
Right. Like, actually, I found you because I was hoping you'd want a threesome. That was my whole agenda.
That's exactly what I was fucking looking for.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad I don't have that issue to deal with because I have enough, which is nothing. I have no issues because I'm not even entertaining anybody. But the idea that somebody would be like,
all of the weird questions. You're a feminist, so answer this. And it usually has nothing to do with feminism.
Right. Of course.
You're a feminist, so answer this. You're the most political person I know. Is this racist? If you have to ask me if that is racist, I can guarantee you that you are being racist right now.
Right. And that you're questioning it, which is great. Like, thank you for questioning that.
I always say that. Thank you for asking me because I'm here to tell you that is a racist question. And yes, you are being racist.
Yeah.
You asked me for the truth. You don't come to me if you want to hear a fucking spun story of made up lies.
This is so, it's 2020 and this is still so rampant. Like, it's embarrassing. It's actually embarrassing. We are the greatest country in the world, right? Anybody will tell you the United States is the greatest country in the world, but we have regressed so far that we are basically the Boston Tea Party again right now because they were rebelling against being treated like, you know,
we were starting
to an end.
Listen, we were starting to make progress. I'm not saying that we were on our way to solving all of life's problems. We were starting to make progress. It is like, if any message you can take here from tonight, which you probably got lost in this, vote, 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 vote. Okay, all you people that said, I can't make a difference, look at what we're fucking dealing with right now, okay? The difference between Obama era and Trump era is that did you have to worry about walking out of the fucking house and getting firebombed with tear gas? Because I didn't. Yeah. All right? This is not what we were dealing with. We dealt with it.
Not what we signed up for.
I did not sign up for regression. I voted for Hillary. Anybody that wants to blame white people, I voted for Hillary.
Yeah, right. Like, I'm not part of this white people problem.
Listen, voting for Bernie is what fucking helped get us into this mess. I am not a Bernie girl. Okay, so like, stop that agenda right there. Are her emails tear gassing people on the streets right now? I mean, like,
but again, like, honestly, like, it's so systematic. It's so like we are so trained. We are so trained to hear only what is fed to us, and we're not trained to go looking anymore.
Listen,
that's our problem.
It is systematic.
We are fed whatever we decide we're going to eat, just like any other child, like just like any other baby who decides to spit out the green beans or eat the green beans.
Well, here's the fucking thing is that we were not moving backwards, and now we are. We were starting to show signs of hope. Like, don't tell me you didn't get the chills the first time you turned on the TV and the White House was lit up for Pride Month. I got goosebumps. Like, I think about it and I'm like, oh. And now I want you to look at how Pride Month started.
Yeah.
It started with a man being in a bunker in the White House. It looked
and
like
also, his administration, but we don't know where it came from, called for the ability to block an adoption if it's an LGBTQ family.
Well, did we think that this was going to change? She was trying to have don't ask, don't tell reversed. So, like,
it's scary, but I also like I feel that our main takeaway from everything that should be happening, or our main takeaway should be that we need to be connecting on a human-to-human level. We don't need the media. We need to cut out the fucking media. We all need to talk. We have social media. We have access to millions of human beings.
No, but why don't you throw out the media from actually showing? If you have a media that's the middle of the road that's trying to show you what actually happened and you kick them out, that's a problem.
It's too difficult to know what's middle of the road. And I'm not going to lie to you. This is why I don't watch TV.
Go and fucking look what people are posting and showing.
Right, but that's not media. That's human beings. Right. I'm talking about human beings.
Media,
I'm talking about media outlets.
Go and then look outside of that, but we cannot get rid of the press. We are in a danger.
I'm not talking about getting rid of the press. I'm talking about finding information instead of allowing it to be spoon-fed.
We need to stop.
We have to go looking
media is not
on a human level.
Yeah,
a human level. That's the only way we're going to get out of this is a human level. Humans to humans to humans to humans. It's the only way we're going to get out of this with information. It's the only way we're going to band together. If we do not start connecting on a human level, we're going to continue to be apart.
The problem of this is that we're not living our normal lives. We're not going to work every day and maybe speaking to the coworker that is afraid to ask you something, because we're not going in normal situations anymore. You're not running into your neighbor at the food store. You're not going to work every day. We're living
if you're going to slide into somebody's motherfucking DMs to ask about their boobs, you can totally ask them about, you know, everything else.
Right. If you're sliding into my DMs to ask me if I've been with a black cock, then you could definitely ask me about what my take is on this situation.
Yeah. Like, hi, have you spoken to a black person to find out what their experience is? Totally just as easy. The problem is people are not conditioned to do that. They're conditioned to turn on the TV and listen to what it says. They're not conditioned to look for better. They're conditioned to decide that if whatever their agenda is, that everything else is fake news, regardless.
I don't even want to talk about fake news. All right.
But that's how it is.
I had to pee for 45 minutes.
I know I have to pee too.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We said we weren't going to rant for an hour and a half, and we didn't. We ranted for 2.5 hours. So if you've joined us.
I don't care.
I don't care either.
So yeah,
I said black cock if you want. I don't fucking care.
But thank you, anybody who watched any part of it. If you have any questions, if you want to talk to either one of us, please, like, you know, send a message to us. Look us up on social media. We are open. We want to talk. We want to be part of the solution. We're also, again, like, it's hard, but we'll meet you where you're at. And try to bring.
We're going to do our best. I'm learning from Vanessa. I'm trying to do my best to not scream at you.
Come with questions. Don't come with judgment. Come with questions.
Come with real questions, and I will answer you. If you come pointing fingers at me, I can't promise that result.
Ask questions. We will answer. All right. Bye, y'all.
We're both chicks. We have to pee. Bye.
Yeah.
Click it off.